We're all back once again. It's a new week. Bitcoin did pretty much nothing over the weekend, but that was kind of expected, just sideways, a little bit of a pullback. We did get a slight pullback, an ever so slight pullback. Felt fucking minuscule, honestly, to 76,000 bucks. And now Bitcoin charged back up to new highs on this rally. And honestly, think it's going higher, man. Think it's going higher before any real pullback. Honestly, we have to, honestly, like I have been doing a lot of studies this morning regarding, what to expect in terms of pullback for Bitcoin, like when, how big, and after what sort of a move. And realistically, look, if you're looking for a big pullback, I'll just spell it out right at the beginning here. It is not coming before further upside is very likely. That's a long way of saying I have a very much lack of sleep. I feel retarded today, but Bitcoin probably going higher before we do get a pullback. And yes, at some point, Bitcoin will pull back, obviously. But right now, it does feel like one of those times where you got a bit of a lockout rally going on. Many people are looking to buy the retest, or even worse, Bitcoin must bottom on October 10th. So thus, Bitcoin is not bottomed. But I do think that with the statistics that we're going to be looking at today, you will see very, 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 very obviously that history says Bitcoin higher first. Bitcoin higher first, then we get a pullback. Anyways, I want to read off a few more of these comments over here. I see Mr. Hobbit. Is it Jover? I don't know if it's Jover, but it is looking Bitcoin over, I suppose. And by Bitcoin over, I mean Bitcoin going up. Anyways, Arib, good morning to you, man. Who else we got? Greg Thomas Hunts making some comments on Elsa. Always a good way to start the fucking day. Erica Foynmeyer, Neil Codden, 1236N. Who else we got here, man? Tex, Hex, and friends. Hoy Hoy, Lomacella Azul, Becoming Steel, Lexington Steel, Timbu, and Asian Massage and Straight Path. Who else we got? Butts for the win. Man, it's been a long time since 2019. Fuck yeah, dude. Salt TTA. Yeah, we need a little bit of lemons on that salt. Mr. Pow Pow, MH Boost, Bill Norblatt, Ayush, Hoy Hoy, Zonkard, good morning to you, man, and Nova Sparks and CC. Yeah, man, I feel like this week is going to be one of those more fun weeks. Let me actually go into the charts right here, right now, and let's do just kind of a general market overview, and then we'll get into the Bitcoin-centric analysis here. But I do want to state that right at the beginning of the stream, we are going to see Besent get on the phone or get on the television, the telly, a little bit later today. I think that is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So how long until then? Rosie, what the fuck are you doing? Uh-oh. We got a crazy dog going around over here. Elsa, come up and get the damn dog. Yes, Besson talking at what? At 2 p.m. Eastern time, so that is an hour and a half from now. Maybe we actually watch that live together. I mean, why not? I expect markets will move here, and I think a lot of people are looking for that speech to be something regarding we're going to buy the ever-loving shit out of bonds, and we've been raising over $1 trillion to do just such things. That would be amazing. Anyways. We shall see. Perhaps markets run off that. Either which way, I do expect a little bit of volatility around there, as we typically do expect. Bori Productions, good morning to you, man. Sarthrak, Winston Wolf, Matador MC, and let's go check out some traditional markets here too. Traditional markets, the Sea of Red, actually, we kind of are getting what you typically don't expect with Bitcoin. Bitcoin up, traditional markets down, and actually down a decent amount here, I would say as well. SPY futures still holding the line overall, still overall bullish as far as I'm concerned. This is more or less just a retest of that previous high before that most recent breakout that we saw in early August, and I still look for this one to move higher, upwards and onwards into September. The only way that I changed my mind right there is if we did see SPY finish out this month below 74.50. NASDAQ futures, same thing, but a little bit weaker as you would expect. This one, it has not even made new highs yet, which is absolutely pathetic, but yes, overall, still consolidate at a high level. Still looking at this as overall good. Still probably poised for some new highs in, I don't know, a month or two, something like that. But the short-term consolidation continues onwards and forwards. Other than that, you can see on my you can see on my watch list over here. Actually, you can't see most of it because the chat box does cover up a good portion of it. A sea of red, actually, a lot of red going on right there. The only green that I see is just a few stonks here and there. Actually, the ones related to crypto. In fact, we got Circle, FBTC, Meta, technically not related to crypto, but yeah, just one of the outliers there. Google, same thing. And other than that, yeah, it is just red across the board. But ultimately, the day is young, the week is very, very young, and am I bearish on traditional markets? No, I'm not bearish on traditional markets. I am looking perhaps for a little bit of a sideways lull here as we get into September. But in the meantime, Bitcoin is the name of the game right now. Bitcoin is the game in town. It's the only game in town. I guess gold's up there as well. In fact, gold up about wow, 1.25%, kind of big for gold actually. But Bitcoin up a little bit more than that, almost 2.5% on the day. Anyways, go into our nice little stream opener. So, like I said, statistically speaking, Bitcoin Pullback, are we actually looking for that right now? Not necessarily, in fact. We have done some studies over here as to what to expect on the first leg after reclaiming the 200 daily simple moving average, which Bitcoin did at 69,000 bucks when Bitcoin closed. I believe this was last Wednesday, was it? Let me just go back over here to Bitcoin, and then we'll restart that. Yeah, this happened last Tuesday. Actually did reclaim that white 200 simple moving average right here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. Whenever we've seen that happen, we've seen the median first leg from that reclaim up about 24.5%. And if we were to put a number on price for that, that would be about 86,000 and change right there. And if you want to be super exact, about 86,300. And again, we've seen this only 3 prior times in Bitcoin's history: 2015, 2019, and 2023, that first reclaim of the daily 200 simple. Again, I'll show you right here. We can go to those previous iterations and you'll see something very, very, very uniform here. Bitcoin reclaims the 200 simple and actually massive move to the upside. Yes, you get a retest of it later on, but that took from the actual reclaim, that took at least a month or two, I think. About a couple months. That was from January 13th was reclaim, and the retest over here was March of that year, but basically 2 months later on. And of course, we go back to the cycle previous to that in 2018. Not as similar here in terms of timing, but in terms of the actual move itself, yeah, hell yeah. This one reclaiming the 200 simple right here. Massive move to the upside. Obviously, Bitcoin did not even get another retest to that 200 simple until, I don't know, like 3-4 months later. We did have some pullbacks along the way, namely this area right here in April, but that was about a 10 to 50% pullback. So in the grand scheme of things, not all that much. Anyways, going back to the 2014 to 2015 saga right here, this one is going to be a full retest and actually did even trade lower than the 200 simple. But again, once it reclaimed it right here, that was a big move to the upside. And it wasn't until about a month later, about a month and a half later, where you did get that retest on that pullback. So looking for something kind of similar over here in the sense that I think Bitcoin continues to the upside first, maybe as far as 85 to 86,000 bucks, which would be incredibly powerful. Why? Because Bitcoin would naturally reclaim the last weekly lower high that we saw lost along the way, which was effectively 83,000 bucks. This was coming in from the failed May rally. And if Bitcoin reclaims that high, yes, we do we do have a reversal on hand. You got a higher high and higher low along the way. Not bad for a weekly time frame, of course, here too. Anyways, on top of that, if we go a little bit further, we can see that the retest the crowd wants almost never comes. In fact, during the first leg, which is what we were just looking at right there, price closed back at the reclaim level exactly once in 3 cases. That was 2015, as we just looked at. The outlier that chopped effectively, and you did see Bitcoin come back down around that previous low. Again, the low was in, but yes, it did come down close to it. Other than that, 2019 ran 164% without ever looking back. I mean, yes, you did have some 10% corrections along the way, but in the context of a 164% gainer, that barely shows up with a fucking blimp. 2023 ran about 25% without touching it, and then of course we did see that nice little pullback. And other than that, intra-leg pullbacks do happen. The median deepest was about 12.5% from the running peak, but measured from mid-80s peak, a normal dip would land somewhere around like 79,000 bucks to 74,500 bucks, which is honestly where I'm starting to look at this pullback is likely to come from. That also does align with a couple of the technical features. And if we go over to the weekly time frame over here, again, Bitcoin very likely to reconnect, better said, with that red 5 EMA. It does it on almost each and every passing candlestick. But when it doesn't, Bitcoin effectively goes sideways until it does very often. And realistically, 2 or more disconnects is extremely unlikely. That is less than I believe 15% probability that we've seen historically speaking on any particular 2 consecutive closures or more away disconnecting from that red 5 EMA. Right now, that red 5 EMA on the weekly time frame is where it's 72,000 bucks. So can Bitcoin test it this week? Possible, yes, but I would say it's probably going to be a next week thing. And you can see that this thing is rising up significantly week over week. From last week, for example, it was hanging out at 64,500. Dyslexia is striking again. 68,500, or actually just retardium is striking again because that is nowhere near. This week it is 72 and change, so up already about 4,000 bucks almost. If that rises up another 4,000 bucks, that puts you where? About 76,000 bucks. So wouldn't be that surprising for me to see a pullback somewhere down around there. Maybe in early/mid September, and that probably would be a major opportunity. opportunity. Effectively, especially within the context of the greater scheme of things, I'm really not looking for like major, massive pullbacks right here. And I want to put a major line in the sand as well. $70,000 is a beautiful line in the sand. As long as Bitcoin's above there, I have no real questions about this rally. Realistically, yeah, of course, we can always find counterpoints to anything. Nothing is 100% certainty when it comes to trading or investing, and there certainly is always going to be conflicting and competing signals. Always, always, always. But like I've been saying, the upside signals do outweigh the downside signals. And if Bitcoin were to lose $70,000, that would be the first major thing for me to say, hey, maybe that October 10th thing actually does matter. But for right now, I'm not of that opinion. And ultimately, we're seeing a lot of those higher term timeframes follow through as well with Bitcoin. Obviously, last week we saw the weekly and the biweekly and the 3-week timeframe all simultaneously close. The 3-week timeframe was the only one that had not previously seen stochastic momentum cross into the upside. Now it has officially followed through. So we see all higher term timeframes in concert with each other. I'll run you through all of them right now. Here's a daily time frame. That one is very much up and very much critical. The 2-day time frame also pretty much fucking erect and vertical right there too. 3-day time frame, nice and vertical. 5-day time frame, vertical. Weekly time frame, vertical. 10-day time frame, vertical. Bi-weekly time frame, also vertical from a very low level, I should add as well. And that one showing upside pressure as long as Bitcoin's above $60,000 fucking dollars now. 3-week time frame is again freshly up for the first time basically since December of 2022. And that one shows upside pressure as long as Bitcoin's above 67,670. And if we go to the monthly time frame, as we identified on last Friday, assuming Bitcoin just doesn't shit the bed before next Monday is the end of this month. Let me just double check on this one. Next Monday is the end of this month. Anyways, if Bitcoin's above 65,700 by that time, we're going to see the monthly follow through as well, again, from an extremely low level. So we see the weekly, bi-weekly, 3-week, and monthly all coming in from extremely, extremely low levels. This has traditionally been a pretty big deal. And we've gone over stats over that in the past, of which we've seen the alignment of those timeframes as begetting about, I think it was about a 25% move from the low over the next 90 days. So again, that puts us in like the mid 80s, something like that. And again, that was actually the median. The average was closer to about 48 to 50%. Again, that puts Bitcoin a little bit closer to $100,000. In fact, a little bit above $100,000. But I don't want to get too carried away with myself right here because, while there is a lot of good things going on, ultimately it is still one step before the next. And we did just get yet another signal over here on the LTI dip buyer. This is the new version of the LTI, by the way. If you haven't updated yours, then I would certainly go ahead and update it. It will say V2 right here. And if you haven't updated it, it'll also show kind of like a purple, settings icon right here. Anyways, all you need to do is just click that button. It'll update it automatically. All good. Anyways, if we're looking at the Bitcoin or the Pesto Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we actually did just get a bull signal right here, which these have been actually pretty damn good. Just looking at the signals over the past, what, like 7-8 years now, we see that the last few major bull signals have been before, well, some pretty impressive rallies. One of them, or the most recent one, I should say, was coming off of the back of the $80,000 low in April of last year before Bitcoin made new all-time highs at $126,000. The two other times before that were back on over here, basically on the other cycle lows from 2022, like literally on the cycle low from 2022, and then on the retest low before significant upside again in 2023. And then the one before that was obviously coming off of the midsummer mini bear market, if you want to call it that, in 2021 before, again, Bitcoin printed that signal right here and then made new all-time highs. It made new all-time highs, but, not by a significant margin. Anyways, that was a 2x move nonetheless. And again, looking at this one over here, I think that just kind of adds on to the corroboration of all of these different indicators and whatnot, agreeing with each other that Bitcoin, probably wants to go higher. On top of that, if we go over here to the weekly rev and ribbons, which I don't usually look at the weekly, but in this case, we actually do have something of significant interest here. We did see Bitcoin reclaim the bottom end of the upper band number 1, which is good, which is good. I effectively look for Bitcoin to play between the bottom end, the lower band of upper band 1, and the top, the top end of that same band. So that gives Bitcoin an effective range in the short term between about about $76,000. So if basically the weekend's low, and then to the top side about $86,000 and change. Again, very much aligning with some of the other stat-based projections that we've been looking at. And yes, you do have these dotted areas in the in the midline here. That one is showing at about 81,200 or so. So perhaps a bit of a short-term target. And you should be expecting a bit of a reaction around there. But again, I'm just not really seeing anything that's making me super concerned about this in the short term here. I know a lot of people are picking out extremely high reads on your daily or 4-hour RSI. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. When you see extreme highs on, on your RSIs, like well above 75, into the 80s or especially the 90s, like you saw here on the 4-hour RSI, this was literally one of the highest levels maybe ever, or at least as far as I can pull back into history over the past 10 or so years. That is a signal that price action is incredibly strong. And yes, it's probably going to spend a little bit of time consolidating a little bit lower. Ultimately, it leads to continuation. Anytime that we've seen this realistically in the past, I mean, shit, even just getting it up to this level in the past is really fucking difficult. But for the times that even got kind of close, I mean, these are going to be these green vertical bars. And again, these were continuation runs effectively for Bitcoin as we kind of scroll through the history and look at the past 7 to 8 years here. Again, does not happen all that often, but when it does, big move up. Boom, big move up. Then a lot of sideways. Yes, that does happen, of course, as well. This one over here actually did get the high, to be fair. So there is one. This one over here went sideways for a while. And this one very similar, I would also say, to our current signal because what? Because this was coming after the end of the 2018 bear market. Bitcoin gets that first major massive move up. That 4-hour RSI gets up to the fucking heavens. And then it does continue a little bit more from there. But ultimately, it's just sideways for about a month and a half. And then you get your big continuation move. So again, whether Bitcoin wants to continue right now, whether it continues a little bit later, I think is more of a formality. Ultimately, I do think Bitcoin is going higher, and I don't really expect any major pullbacks in the short term below even 75 to 76,000 bucks. I think maybe it's very possible that what we saw over the weekend was it. Other than that, do we have anything else to speak about right here? Let me just double check. I mean, a lot of these things are, we're just kind of going over shit that we pointed out over the past month and a half playing out now. So I feel like it's kind of just self-indulgent at this point. But hey, for the people who have been following along in this channel, there you go. I mean, you wait, patient, and then everything happens pretty much all at once. It's like you almost forget it even occurred. It's that fucking crazy, but that's why we love Bitcoin, Anyways, over the next 3 weeks, I do think you will get something resembling a pullback to reconnect with a lot of those major moving averages. But like I said, the longer that it takes, the more and more that they get pulled up. So right now, I would say worst case scenario to the downside would be about 72,000 bucks. I don't think that's going to happen, but that'd be a realistic worst case scenario in the short term this week, as far as I'm concerned. And over the next 3 weeks, maybe like 74, 75,000 bucks. What I'm personally looking at is probably like 76 or so, but anywhere in that pocket between 73 to 76, I think is fair game. But first things first, I think Bitcoin wants to go higher here. And yes, at some point you will get that pullback, but as we've been going over, that's less likely than continuation first. Anyways, if you want more on that study, I can show you over here. Again, the median after reclaiming the daily 200 simple for Bitcoin on the first move above it after being away from it for a very, very long time. We're going to put a minimum of 6 months away from it. The median move was 24.5%. Again, that puts Bitcoin at 86,300. That also did match up with the Rabin Rubin's midband, which I think is incredibly interesting. Again, from each reclaim close to the first 15% correction, 2015 ran 21.3%. That happened in just 13 days, by the way. That was extremely fast. 2019 ran 163% over 85 days with 5% dips and never looked back. I mean, that was a fucking difficult one to watch realistically if you weren't involved. 2023 ran plus 24.5% in about 38 days. Again, no retest there. The median, again, going to be 24.6%, which from 69,000 to 98, which was that daily 200 simple on the reclaim, lands you somewhere around 86,300 or so. Again, there's going to be variance around these numbers, and we do have a very limited amount of previous history, but it's, we got to work with what we have at the end of the day. And somewhere around there would make a lot of sense. Maybe it's a little bit lower. Maybe it ends up being a little bit higher, but somewhere around there probably makes a lot of sense, at least statistically speaking. Anyways, I should also go over the rest of this, or at least some of it, because I do think a lot of it is quite compelling, honestly. Anyways, as far as Bitcoin pulling back, again, I want to repeat this data here because I do think it is really... I think that this data adds a lot of color to this. So when we're talking about the 5 EMA reconnect on the daily or the weekly time frame, we're going to focus on the weekly time frame right here. 82% of the time you reconnect in less than 2 closes, and even just one disconnect from the 5 EMA on the weekly time frame, that is pretty rare already. It's in the 70% of, in terms of it like not happening. But anyways, 476 upside disconnects since 2012. Median is 1 close. Again, 82% done within 2, 97% done within 4, and the longest ever was 7. That's pertaining to the daily, I should say. Gains mostly kept at the reconnect as well. The median was about 79%. The market stalls, the average catches up, and it is scale invariant as well. So that 73% touch rate and the less than 2 close rule held on the Tuesday, on the 2-day, the 5-day, and the weekly. These are very similar stats on all these timeframes, by the way. Today, price is about 4% above the 5 EMA, which is at 76,350. So the clocks basically kind of starts like right about now on the macro dashboard, which I've been referencing for a lot of this data. Anyways, perhaps I make that public at some point, but for right now, I've been having a lot of fun with it and setting it up. It's just like a fucking smorgasbord of stats and shit at this point. It's like really difficult for anyone, probably not me, to decipher through, because it's I basically just like spit everything out there. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for me on the old coins right there. I don't know, should we do our daily DCA on the old on the old Bitcoin? Yeah, let's go over here to Coinbase, to Dirtbase. I'll buy 100 coins of the old derps. Let's see. Let's actually bid a little bit lower. Let's do 78,900. We'll buy 100 right there. And nice. Yep. Buying $100 of Bitcoins on the old Coinbase right there. Partnered up with them for Coinbase Advanced because they're giving us a nice deal, a nice little deal, which massively reduces ours and my fees. My fees and your fees as well. Ours and my fees. Jesus Christ, man. I really am lacking sleep tonight. But yes. What I'm trying to say is the shill link below gets you 80% off of your spot trading fees and 10% off your derivative trading fees. Other than that, only available to certain geographic locations at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into some comments. Let's actually look at some Kalshi as well. Might as well throw some caution to the wind right here. See what they're giving you for these hourlies. $79,000 giving you a 55% probability by end of hour to close above. I don't know. Do we take that? Do we not take that? I probably would not take that right now. I don't think that this is actually getting a lot harder when Bitcoin's moving around a lot more, at least for me. Let's see what economics tab has. Do they have anything with Besent's talk today? I'm curious if they know something that we do not. It would appear not. No, unfortunately not. Sometimes they do social shit like that, but looks like it will not be today, unfortunately. So it is what it is, man. Life goes on, I suppose. We'll wait for another opportunity over here, but for right now, yeah, I'm probably going to take that one personally. Anyways, let's get into work in the comment section and see what's going on. And I'll scroll all the way to the tippy top. Arib is number 1 as usual. He's looking at gold and he says targets this week for you or for me. Asking about 4,700 or 4,770. I mean, shit, man, I don't know why you're asking me at this point. Like, I would have sold this position a long time ago, but 4,700, I mean, shit, you're very, very, very close to it right now. I probably would, like I said, I would not try to be eking out all of the cash on this one, but is it going to get there? I don't know. Probably, probably, man. I mean, it's not looking like it's going to be going down in September. I'll put it that way. Unless you see between now and next Monday, this thing come back down below about 4,400. I would look for September to at least be a ranging month at the very worst, and of course at the very best. Actually might be a bullish month, but yeah, as far as gold considered right here, I don't know, man. If I was you, I'd be selling that already, just because I'm not in the business of trying to like fucking eke out every last little dollar from these positions. But hey, do what you're gonna do, my man. Do what you're gonna do. Anyways, silver, you're asking if there's gonna be if there's a target this week. Again, I don't really have a target for this week. I do think you gotta have a pullback this week to about $67. As far as silver, I look at it very, very similarly to gold. Do I think you can get up to about $72? Yeah, it's possible for sure. But similar to gold, man, you've seen most of this move. I do think I wouldn't be trying to get too cute here. It'd be nice if it got up to $72 and hit the 200 simple on the daily, but that to me would be a sell. I wouldn't really be trying to, again, eke out too much above there. So, gold, same thing. It's already above the 200 simple. I would look at that as just, all right, great. Thank you, market. I'll close my hands and take the money and run. But that's just me, man. As far as targets this week, I think both of these kind of look like they want to have a little bit of a pullback. I'm not calling like a collapse or nothing like that, but silver especially looks like it wants to have a little bit of a pullback there, down to, I think it was like 66, what we just looked at. Anyways, Neil Cotton's looking at hype daily retracement levels. I don't know if Bitcoin doesn't retrace, and I probably wouldn't be looking for this one to retrace, but let's look at it on its own. As always, that is the best way to be doing things. Depends what you mean by retracement. Like how deep of of a move, how big of a drawdown is a retracement to you? For hype, I think worst case scenario this week is you come down about $72, $73, somewhere around there. I'm not even saying that you're going to do that. I think that's just your worst case scenario right here in the short term pertaining to this week. Other than that, man, still overall good in my opinion, man. Wouldn't want to be bearish on this one, man. Yeah, if it did have a pullback somewhere around like 72 to $73, I think is worst case scenario there. And before then, I mean, it's just higher lows the whole way through. This is bullish. I would not be trying to overthink these things, man. Look at the monthly time frame. The monthly is a bullish engulfing dildo as of right now. And, you know, barring a catastrophic closure below about $73 before end of month, again, next Monday, it's very likely going to lead to new highs in September. I'll put it that way, like just super fucking blunt. I don't have the mental capacity to rebate my own speech today. So just have to say it like it is, man. Yeah, closing anywhere above $73 by next Monday, like who gives a shit what the pullback is? This thing's extremely likely to make new highs and probably decent new highs. I mean, you know, when you have something that acts well like this during a Bitcoin bear market and this thing's acting well, that's a sign that this thing is strong. Again, I don't hold hype. I don't care about hype. I don't like have any love or hate towards it. It's just a thing. But at the end of the day, man, gotta respect a good chart when you see a good chart. And if it's beating Bitcoin, especially during a bear market, that's an excellent sign. Anyways, 1236N says, what levels to watch and enter on XLE? I literally have no fucking clue what you're trying to do. No time frames given, no nothing. So I just don't know where to go with something like that, man. I mean, if you're on a minute chart, maybe right here is a great entry. If you're on a weekly chart, maybe closer to 61.25 is a better entry. Again, man, I have no idea what the fuck you're trying to do, man. As far as a monthly goes, I would be bullish on this, man. I don't have a reason not to be bullish on this, especially if you're closing above about $61.50 by end of August here. I think this thing's poised for new highs probably in September as well. Short term, if this thing wants to pull back, where to be looking towards? I'd be looking for about $61 and hopefully it bounce before end of month. It's really all that I'd be looking for, but I'm not even saying it's going to pull back there. It's just if it did, that'd be an area I'd be looking for at least a reaction, a nice little reactionary bounce there, man. Yeah, correction. I mean, God, what are you talking about correction? This thing just made new highs. Like, losing my fuck. Am I okay? I can't tell right now if I'm retarded because I haven't slept that well in the last like 2 weeks, or if, or what the fuck is going on with this question? What do you mean correction? Correction? XLE is not a correction. It's in new all-time highs, dude. What the fuck? Is this a correction to you? I wonder if that's a correction to you. I wonder what Bitcoin is over here. Like, what is that, man? Look, if it comes down $61, make a lot of sense to me, but I'm not even saying you're going to get all the way down there, dude. I'm bullish on this thing, assuming the monthly close above about 61.5. I think that one looks good. It is oil and gas at the end of the day, so perhaps my age-old shittiness with oil and gas will rise again. But yeah. Anyways, straight pass says GM brother. Iron, rip or dip. Nice. Okay, and we have a time frame. Fuck yeah, man. All right. I feel like this is a good one. Weekly time frame, rip or dip. I'd be looking for a little bit of a dip here, but I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish. I think that this thing has found just a local swing high, and it's in a weekly range right here. Something like this. There's your range high. Probably comes a little bit closer to your range low, maybe like $35, $36. But I don't think you're going to break down. I think that you do bounce again. I think that you generally do something like this, the sideways snake dance, and then perhaps give a try to the upside. Much later on, maybe closer to the end of the year. But in the short term, yeah, I do think that you have a little bit of a dip. Not a crazy new low or anything like that. Or I mean, if that did happen, obviously that'd be fucking catastrophic for this thing. But for whatever reason, my trading view is completely seized up right now. What the hell's going on? What the fuck is going on, man? Bastard. Not a great day for something like that. Let me try out one of my other charts over here and see if this one will cooperate. Yes, we have it. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, short term, a little bit of a pullback. If you pull it back down to like 35, 36, 30, $36.50, that's fine. I've just looked at it as a short-term range. Yeah, not really much to it more than that, in my opinion. Anyways, Tom says, super daily, weekly, LEO inspired me. Looking for entry. All right, let me just take a sip of this. Nice one. Okay, yes, super. LEO shitcoin, nice. All right, let's see what this one's doing. Nice little upside move right there, but yeah, I don't know what you expect me to say on this one, man. not going to be, I mean, look, from a chart perspective, it's just not going to be great, obviously. But can you have a nice little popcorn rally here? I guess. I just don't trust these things that much, honestly, man. I've just seen too many of these damn things over time. Yeah, my favorite chart still is not working. What's going on right here? Let's try to open up a new one, because I do prefer to look at things from this view here. Let's see. No, still doesn't want to do it. That is so fucking annoying. Fuck you, TradingView, you gigantic bastard, you. I hate you. Oh, man, I hate you. Oh, I can't wait until Claude gets so good that I don't even need to use TradingView. I could just type to Claude and say, hey, can you show me a chart for this, and put on all the indicators that I want? Fucking amazing, man. Oh, I can't wait, TradingView. Your days are fucking numbered, baby. You guys suck. Anyways, there's chance for a popcorn rally here, of course. I don't know. Would I be playing it? Probably not. If it wants to take another leg up, I'd be looking somewhere around like 16-ish cents. And if things get really crazy, in my opinion, probably like best case scenario in a realistic sense, you know, stars aligning type shit, I'd be looking at 22 to 23 cents. But again, man, I love Elliot. He's a good friend. At the end of the day, man, I'm gonna call chart to chart, and I any chart that looks like this, I'm just not gonna be a big fan of them. Okay, is my other chart working out? Fuck yeah, finally, thank God. Yeah, as far as this one, I'd be pretty surprised if it even got close to a quarter in the short term or near term or anything like that. I mean, shit, man, you don't even have bullish evidence on a monthly time frame at this point, so it's kind of hard to get excited for any, you know, real reversal here. But wants to have another, I don't know. I mean, that would be another 50% move almost to the upside. Wouldn't be that crazy, actually. I mean, not impossible for sure. Anyways, okay, cool. Let's go over to Jay Watts. Says, my shitcoin, please. Manifesting 4-hour and daily. Oh, great. Manifesting coin. Oh, this is actually a thing. Great. For fuck's sake, man. This crypto, I hope you never change, but also because you'll never change, you will always be crapto, as that fucking guy always says. Crapto. I wonder where that guy is. Look, I don't have a real opinion on this chart. It's a little bit too new. You might have one of those popcorn rallies. If you do, 18 cents where you'd be looking towards. That is a 50% move from where you're at, so fair game. Other than that, man, I don't trust these charts. You're gonna have hidden bearish evidence present at some point, but weird shit can happen during these times. I really don't know for this thing. I really don't know. 4-hour time frame. Short-term pullback, but wouldn't be surprised to see it have one more try higher, and then who knows what the fuck happens after that, man. All these things are on a ticking time schedule to, at one day, dump to all hell in Hades and beyond. Anyways, Steven Schickman's here. He's looking at SOX, SOXS. Okay, I'm guessing this one should be up today. Should be. Dear fucking Lord, man. You have the patience of a saint. Yeah, nice little upside move here, man. Filled the gap. A little bit of a sell-off from there, but let's see what the underline looks like. Is this thing finally coming down or not? Yeah, coming down a bit there. Okay, LARP line's finally playing out. All right. Again, it's gonna help you out, obviously, over here with some upside price action, but at the same time, these don't work one-to-one. And I do think you're kind of in a precarious position right there, again, because volatility is declining on SOX. So this thing, it's probably like it's not going to work in the way that you think it is. It will go up, but not as much as you would hope for, because volatility is declining. You are basically, I mean, this is quite literally a leverage ETF. So yeah. Other than that, man, I don't know how high can it go. I mean, maybe back up to like 55, 57, very possible right there. But difficult to do real TA on shit like this. Honestly, it is quite difficult. It's a lot easier to look at the underlying. This one, I think, was a somewhat obvious chart, if you will. The SOX, SOXS. God, man, I wouldn't fucking trade that. Too difficult, too damn difficult, man. But yeah, losing the 200 simple yet again over here. You're gonna have your bounces and whatnot along the way, but I do think September is probably a good down month for something like this, and you do see it down below $10,000. Anyways, Venus says, hey, Crown, meta signals did great this weekend for Bitcoin. Fuck yeah. Question, doggy targets, short-term, long-term hold. For fuck's sake, Venus! God damn it! Started off so good, and then we get into fucking doggy, like, oh, you have a new cycle. You could pick anything. You can do it. You can be anything. You can pick anything. Oh, why do we talk about fucking doggy shit fuck coin? God damn. My doctor said I need to keep my heart rate at a steady minimum level. And Venus done fucked it up. God damn it. Is it going to go up? Probably. You have a bullish engulfing monthly dildo in your face, Venus. But I don't know, it probably just reduced my lifespan by like 2.5 days by looking at this god-awful fucking chart. Why? Why do you pick some garbage like this? Why? Fucking why? Seriously, why? Why? You have a new cycle, you can pick any new shitcoin, any new fucking shiny shitcoin that might go at 100 million bajillion X in 2 days. You pick fucking doggy coin. Why? Why? The memes are great. I love the memes. Oh, I love the memes too. You made the ladies cry. Oh, they're still going. God damn it, Venus. Look, shit like this will rally as well, of course. It's not going to be left behind, but it's like, if you're going to play the shitcoin relay game, I just don't understand why you pick something like this, which is ultimately going to have relatively capped gains in comparison to whatever the new shiny hot shitcoin is going to be. So it's like, okay, are you in the game of return sub maximalization? In which case, great. If you're in the game of return maximalization, not great. Bad. Very bad. Very fucking bad. As far as this thing goes, I mean, like, I do think that you could have a continuation rally to like 11, 12 cents. Again, I just don't understand why the fuck you choose this thing out of an infinite pool of random shitcoins that, if you really truly wanted to play shitcoin relay, like, why this thing? Why this thing? For fucking real, why? I'm genuinely curious. Like, why? Is it just like you've seen it in past cycles and you, like, it's just like, well, that was cool. That was cool. Doggy coin is cool. Elon Musk likes it. And it's got a cute avatar. Maybe. Fuck, man. Or fuck, woman. Is that a thing? Like a fuck girl? A fuck girl? Anyways, Braydana, oh God. Lit crypto, fuck, this is the problem when shit goes up. We start to have to look at crypto shitcoins, lighter crypto. All right, maybe this one's gonna be good. Let's hope. I'm gonna cross my fingers and pray to Bula Jesus. Bula Jesus, please take my hand and show me a non-shitcoin chart. At least it's something, thank fucking God. It is. See, Venus, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of going into doggy derp shitcoin, herpity derp fucking lobotomized moron coin, you could go into lighter derp coin, which is also a shitcoin. But here's the thing, and here's the point that I'm trying to make. And look, I'm honestly not trying to be mean to you. I'm just on a lack of sleep and being a fucking asshole, really. Lighter is a very, very new coin. Thus, it does not have all of this overhead hang that you have from years and years and years of past holders' hopes and dreams being shitted on by doggy coin, going down and down only, which essentially creates a lot of sellers on the way back up. This thing doesn't have that. Now, am I saying that lighter coin is going to be fucking great and, the second coming? No, but it's probably going to be a better pick in terms of returns than fucking doggy coin if you really want to play shitcoin relay. If you want to play that game, hey, it's a free country. Like, be my guest. Just saying. Like, why? They're fucking garbage. Like, they're fucking garbage. Venus says, swear to God, I don't know. I'm sorry. Look, Venus, I'm just joking, by the way. I'm just joking. I've seen you here a lot of times before. Like, I enjoy it. Just having a little bit of fun. But yeah. All right. Let me scroll through the next one. We have Steve Majikman next. He's looking at mRNA. Yeah. Speaking about shitcoins, man. mRNA. There we go. Yeah, I think Besent speaks at the end of this hour here, so we could actually turn him on if things get a little bit quieter for sure. mRNA, they announced literally the cure to cancer, which is always the big risk with trading fucking biotechs. Oh dear Lord. And this thing, big fucking volume on that move, did sell off of the previous macro high from May of 2024. It's probably going to spend a little bit of time consolidating. I wouldn't be surprised to see it have a very volatile snapback, pullback to like 110 or so, but that would just be a reconnect. I'd be looking at that as an opportunity if it did happen. Other than that, I think that this probably is a reversal. So whatever pullback you do get is, in my opinion, an opportunity. Um, yeah, pretty impressive there, actually. Crazy biotech shit. Anyways, if you're on a daily, don't think much is going to be going on a daily. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin, right? You get that first major move up, you're going to go sideways for a little bit of time. Slight pullback, yes, but probably some more highs after that. Anyways, we have a spammer, JW. Thank you for that, man. Or just get bound. Adrian Renee says bull stock. It's crazy, man. I guess these people have never gone into another person's live stream. Like I've gone into other people's live streams, and whenever I read the fucking live chat, which basically gives your brain AIDS, it's just like people spamming shit over and over again. It just makes it gives me epilepsy, even though I don't have epilepsy. Anyways, daily, weekly, do you think we can see continuation of the upside? Hard one to say on this thing because it's just been a down only shitcoin chart, and you're basically at the exact level that you'd be looking at for the next failed rally if it is going to continue with the long-term downside. And I don't really have a reason to believe that it's not going to do that. So if I had to call it, I'd say probably going to top out, on last week's high. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at least you understand my reasoning for it. And you'll know that I'm wrong if it does effectively, if it basically just reclaims last week's highs, then yeah, you probably do actually have a real reversal here. But I'm looking at big volume on that selling dildo for last week's high. I'm probably looking at this one as party over for a little bit of time at the very least. Yeah. Like in some scenarios, I'd look at something like this and say, no, that's a reversal impending. But just based off the history here, I can't give it the benefit of the doubt personally, just based off my own rules. Yeah, other than that, I guess there's a chance here. It is relatively new, so I might be a little bit too harsh on it. And if I am, you'll know, because it basically just doesn't go back down below like 785. That'd be kind of like the that would be kind of like the line in the sand right there. Anyways, let's see. We have Lake Mackenzie. Sorry. I was like Larkin Mackenzie. Yeah, man, I am like absolutely fucking redacted today. I'm struggling with managing my leverage positions. Maybe don't leverage trade. All my the answer is in the question. All my alts entries that's your first fucking issue right there. All my alts entries were on the 18th. Okay. Oh man, there are so many ways to just take this conversation. I don't know how serious I want to make this in my current state, or even that you even care to fucking hear my opinion on this. But you're up 65 to 500% in your positions. Great. And I'm struggling to close them since everything is say more up, help, please. Are you just saying that to like brag? Just hold on your positions, man. If I don't know what you took those positions based off of. Like, so I think this person is probably just like kind of having a haha fun time, hee. But in general, look, man, like whenever you take a position, you have to have some objective criteria in the back of your mind as to what is going to force you out of that position, whether things go your way or also don't go your way. It sounds like maybe you didn't do that, or if you didn't do that, now would be a good time to probably do that. You usually want to do that like well before you enter your trade. But yeah, man, I think you just might be having a case of green dildo-itis, in which case you've gotten shish kebab with the green dildo up your angus, and now it's come out your mouth hole, and that has made you into a little boy popsicle, which is I don't know, probably bad for your health, man. Anyways, we got You Don't Want No Problems. He says, what up, Crown? What up? You don't want no problems? Can you do XRP? Do we go to 130 first? I think last we looked at it, I was looking for probably higher. Overall, I said 150. Yeah, it got up to 150. Nice. Not bad. Oh, so you're asking if there's going to be a pullback to that number first. Coming back down to 130 right now would kind of be a big deal, honestly. I guess it wouldn't be that surprising based off the weekly. It's really going to depend on whatever Bitcoin does, obviously. My opinion is that Bitcoin can have a shallow pullback, but not like a big pullback here. And when I say big pullback, I mean not below 70. So I think for XRP, kind of around where you're looking at, about 130 would make some sense. That is your 5 EMA on the weekly time frame here as well. Do I think that happens first? That's a better question, and I don't know about that. I would not be surprised to see this one actually, maybe slightly retrace towards like 135 to 140 and then try some more upside. Again, if Bitcoin's not a pullback, I think it's gonna be difficult to get a lot of these things to pull back. I really wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of these things do something like this, where, it comes up here, then you slam back down to like 140, 135, somewhere in that pocket, and then you give your real move. I think that's also just the more painful thing for a lot of people right now too. Just look at a lot of the questions from today's video. Look at a lot of the other people on X, for example. A lot of people are looking at this rally as, and their question is, okay, well, the pullback is definitely coming, right? And it's got to be 75,000, it's got to be 70,000, it's got to be 65,000, whatever their number is. And I I'm not so convinced a pullback first is more likely. Again, statistically speaking, it's not. We have to define pullback, and I would say more than 10% move. So for Bitcoin, I mean, that would put you back down to like what, 73,000 or 72,000 bucks. Yeah, I think it's more likely to go higher before something like that. Anyways, cool. All right. Besent is speaking now. If you're interested in watching it, I can bring it up, but I think we got to get through some of these super chats first, man. What are your current thoughts on Sui? I imagine pretty much everything in their mother is going to be going up, but it's kind of like the doggy thing. It's like, yeah, it'll go up, but if you're thinking about, maximize your fucking returns, is this going to be it? No, you got all the people who are listening to Raoul Pal over here waiting to sell at break even because, well, I'm wrecked and I need fucking rent money. And this over here, I mean, ultimately, this one's very, very, very far away from doing anything resembling a real reversal, which is kind of, rough, especially given the current market. But at the same time, man, do I think it's going to go down if Bitcoin continues to go sideways and up? No, I don't think so. I just don't think it's going to be a big winner. Anyways, your question is, what are my current thoughts on it? Monthly time frame is what matters here. We're getting to the end of this month. You do have a bullish engulfing as it is right now, and all you need to do is close above 78 cents. Yes, sorry, about 78.2 cents in order to confirm that as a bullish engulfing. And at that point, yeah, I'd have to be looking for September and probably October to try some more upside, maybe as far up as 115 to 1.25. But would really want to see that closure first. Until then, it's obviously not going to be my favorite one. And I don't even know if I trust a bullish engulfing. I mean, last week got a bullish engulfing, and so far, not much really. Again, it's a doggy question to me, man. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I just don't see the allure in these things unless you really love the project or something, or the founders or whatever the fuck. I don't know, whatever you tell yourself before you go to sleep, but hopefully I can get some of whatever you're smoking. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Let's see. We got that. Lake Mackenzie got it this time. For my last post, my alts were Ethereum. Okay, dear fucking Lord, man. I'm not looking at all these per dat. Should I worry about funny rates? I don't know what your funny rates are, man. I don't look at this garbage like ever. Waiting for monthly close now since my daily reach targets. Okay, great. It sounds like you do have a plan. In which case, follow your plan. But I mean, let's just pick out one of those. Okay, hype. Obviously, we've already looked at, so we don't need to look at that. But like syrup coin. Okay. Oh God, fucking syrup coin. Probably does have some more upside here overall. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing get to at least like 21, 22 cents and the best of circumstances, maybe a move up to like 23, 24 in September. Very possible right there. You do have a monthly higher low after all. So there is some hopium there, I suppose, but still far and away from getting a higher high. But yeah, probably have some more upside here. I wouldn't be, probably around like a quarter or something like that. Not so bad. Long-term is just a straight down shot. So I would be kind of quick on the sell button whenever you do get the extent of that popcorn rally, but probably a good bet for a little bit higher at least. Anyways, AAP says, hey, Crown, love you. I love you as well, sir. How are my Moneros doing? Maybe not as good as Zcash, but let's check it out. You'd think that these things would kind of like trade together, Monero and Zcash, but I probably just don't understand the user proposition of such things. Overall, is it as good of a chart as Zcash? No, but it is good. And compared to a lot of shitcoins, especially the ones that we've seen today, and even Bitcoin, I'd say too, this is a better chart. In fact, we did not see the disastrous bear market on this thing that we saw in Bitcoin. I mean, yes, it did have a downside move, but it's pretty uniform. I mean, just corrected to the monthly 21 EMA and then back up on a higher low, basically with hidden bullish divergence there too. Like, it's not bad. I do think that this thing is probably ready for a real try to the upside, not this month, but maybe September, October, something like that. Bitcoin's coming down now here. Maybe we should listen to the old Besent. What is he talking about right now? But yeah, overall, probably one of the better ones. I'd say. And again, this is a long-term shitcoin, but it has a nice uptrend. So compare this with like fucking Doggy Coin, right? Doggy Coin, long-term downtrend. You just got a bunch of sellers. This one, long-term uptrend. Not the most impressive one of all time, but it is at least a long-term uptrend. I think that always deserves a lot of recognition because that is just so unlikely for any random shitcoin. So yeah, overall, I don't think it's ready right now, but perhaps like September, this thing I do think could be one of the bigger movers. Constructive, just don't really think it's ready right now. If you want like some actual ranges and whatnot on it, I'd be looking at this range. Oh, cheers, dear fucking Lord. All right, range high, because this is ultimately just a range play right now, but it is a bullish range nonetheless. There's your range low. Once you start to close above 450, basically, I'll be calling a breakout and get ready for like 600 plus. Until then, you can remain within that range for a while longer. You know, might even take you most of September, in fact. Anyways, yeah. All right, cool. Chances of the ascending triangle measure. I mean, if you're talking about this one like way back on over here, I don't think that that's relevant or valid. At this point, you had your chance over here, and that was it. Anyways, ZPH says ASST, weekly, monthly. Okay, ASST, gotcha, for Strive. Yeah, terrible long-term. It just looks like a random shitcoin chart, and basically the same thing about most shitcoins. Do I think that you have a popcorn rally right here? Yes, I do. Do I think it could go higher? Also, yes. I think it could go to like 23, 24 bucks, but that's where I'd definitely be extremely skeptical of some amazing piece of technology like this. But yeah, monthly time frame, higher low in place, probably tries a little bit more to the upside in September, maybe even October as well. And ultimately, you know, between where it's at right now and about 25 to 30 bucks, I mean, that's a big move. I mean, 30 bucks, 50% move from here. So yeah, certainly worth paying attention to. But you know, you are trading against the grain here. I mean, fuck, like the problem with these charts is that they can dump at any given moment in time, and you know, explanations just can be trend. That's the problem. But hey, if you want to play a corrective move, I suppose this one's okay. I do think that it probably tries a little bit higher. But like I said, the trend is your friend. In this case, it's actually not your friend. Anyways, you don't want no problem. Says current thoughts on Link. It'd be great if like I could have like a little bit more direction as to what you're looking for than just general thoughts. But if you want general thoughts, I'll just go over the higher term timeframes more or less. Link coin over here again. It's not among the worst shit coins. It's also not certainly among the best shit coins as well. It's basically done fuck all for the past, what, 5-6 years now. But coming off these lows, you know, I do like this move right here. I do think that maybe a short-term pullback to like 10.5 bucks or so, but ultimately this thing probably does try higher overall. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one spend like a week or two going sideways, maybe correcting a little bit down to like 10.5, but holding that low and then kind of work its way sideways and up into the back half of September. But short term, I think that your rally is mostly over there, mostly over for this one, which maybe that doesn't bode too well for Bitcoin actually, but let's see. Let's go down to a daily, see what this one's looking like. Yeah, daily. I mean, good rally right here. I do think you have a little bit of a pullback. I'm not calling it a reversal though. At least not right now. As long as this thing's especially above, let's call it about $10. I don't have a reason to be like actually bearish there. Anyways, okay. All right, great. Let's scroll down here. Oh, actually, we just got through all of the super chats. Nice. We could put up Besent right now. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Hoi Hoi? How abundant is XMR looking in the near term? I mean, we actually just looked at it, but if you're talking about near term, you know, like you want a daily look at this thing, it's knocking on the door of a breakout. I don't think it's there quite yet. In fact, if we're looking at a daily, we'd have to adjust these ranges somewhat significantly here. Unfortunately, at about 480 would be the upside pivot versus about 450 for the weekly pivot. But look, I think overall, this thing holding up a lot better than the rest of them. Did a lot better during the bear market than almost everything else, except for like a few names here and there. I don't think it's ready right now. Personally, I think this thing is going to spend some more time going sideways, and then maybe September, like mid to end of September, it does try a real breakout. But I think it's one to watch, honestly, especially with Zcash doing its thing. I think these things are part of the same sector. They're both like privacy tokens, whatever the fuck that means. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one kind of follow in its footsteps like a little brother. Something like that, man. MicroStrategy, we could look at MicroStrategy. That could be an interesting one. Let's see, strategy right here. Yeah, nice big move up right there, but getting caught and held by that yellow 21 EMA. I mean, we're kind of looking for a bounce off of this region here. Kind of have to be looking for a pullback on a move like that. This one didn't even get anywhere near its 200 simple on the daily as well. It's still about 20 bucks off, which is what, like 15% for this thing? Yeah. Probably short-term retracement, maybe back down to like 113 or so, and then bounce. Hopefully that bounce reclaims today's high. That'd be more like a weekly look, I guess. But I do want to say I do like the volume on that reversal candle. That kind of is a big deal. So I'd be biased towards a short-term pullback, but give it a chance to find its footing somewhere around like 110, 113 for a higher low, and then try higher after that, or at least some sideways. Something like that, man. CRO coin. Oh, fuck. God fucking damn it, man. Really? CRO coin? Chronos coin? Hold on. This actually might not be what I think it is. So maybe it's great. All right. We'll go with an open mind.
How about no?
How about no? What the fuck, man? The fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, sir? Crow coin? I don't know, man. Did you drink the Kool-Aid too much and read the white paper, which is just a marketing paper, and think, wow, that sounds great. They're really going to conquer the world. People are going to be using their Crow coins for collateral when they go to the bank. Yeah, man. If you could just stop like spamming shitcoin tickers, that'd be amazing. It just, you know, pisses everyone else off too, like real people. It's fucking annoying. Anyways, this thing, look, man, the only thing that you can trust on shit like this is just popcorn rallies. That will always fail. Always fail. I mean, best case scenario, in my opinion, maybe a rally up to like 8 cents. Again, that's like stars aligning type shit. This is just garbage. These are just garbage, man. Just absolute fucking garbage. Like terrible, terrible, terrible places to put your money in. Just go to fucking Vegas. Go to fucking Vegas. You're going to have a better time. I can assure you, you'll have a much better time there. You might even get laid. But this, not gonna get laid. No laying from this, unfortunately. Only dashed hopes and dreams. Yeah, man. I don't know who the fuck's still doing that, but well, I would like to speak with them and understand what the fuck is going on there, man. Redwire. Yeah, this one, again, we've been looking at this one for the past week or two at your behest or at your request, I should say. The monthly time frame is what matters for me here. And if it does not stay above 1180 by end of month, I don't hate it, but I can't be optimistic on it immediately. And I mean, more to the point, the weekly time frame is really starting to shape up to be what? Well, a little bit of bearish evidence there. It's a phantom drive. So wouldn't be surprised to see this thing try another move towards $10 and try for maybe a bounce there. Hopefully it bounces there. Yeah, and if the monthly can finish above, like I said, about 1180, that would make me optimistic on this thing. Until then, I'm not really bearish on it though. I just think it's not ready. In short term, you got a little bit of downside at least. Yeah, short term, I do think you're coming down to like 10-ish, somewhere around there. Hopefully it bounces hard around that region before end of month. That's really what I'd be hoping for there. If I was already involved in this thing. Have you noticed any changes in your mental acuity during trading since you started eating carbs again? I don't know. I think more the thing that affects my mood the most is the most simple thing. It's sleep. It's fucking sleep, man. And for the past 2 weeks, I've just not been sleeping well at all. I have to take like these drugs for a certain, surgery that I'm gonna be having. And also just, right now has been one of the most volatile and important times when it comes to Bitcoin. So, I've actually been like actively trading options there, and that, I don't know, it just weighs on my mind, I guess. So other than that, man, carbs, do I think it really affects it? Maybe. Yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't be able to quantify that. So I guess it doesn't really matter. ISRG, bearish to bullish? Question mark? I don't even know what that means. ISRG, better be good. Intuitive surgical, bad. What the fuck? God damn it. God damn it. Cardano, we could look at Cardano. What the fuck is this amazing shite coin doing? Again, I rest my case. Like, for fuck's sake, man. Look, these things probably do have upside. Like, they probably do have upside. But if you're comparing it to new shit coins that you could be in, they're just not gonna have the same upside, man. And that's probably what you're gambling on these things for to begin with. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not your fucking dad. But at the same time, it's like, God, man, like, why? Why fucking why? If you really like the project, I mean, great, that's amazing. I'm happy for you, I guess. I mean, not really. I don't really give a shit. But at least that could be like somewhat of a understandable reason. But other than that, it's like, do you just look at the long-term history of this and think, oh, well, one day it traded at $3, so it must get back around there because I read it online? It's like, there's no rule that states that. And if anything, this thing's a lot more likely to get back down to those previous all-time lows than it is to get back to those previous all-time highs. Regardless, look, if Bitcoin continues its rally or just really anything at all, this thing probably does rally with it at least a little bit. 30 cents isn't that crazy. Yeah. Tesla, we could look at Tesla. Tesla could be interesting. Something different instead of these god awful fucking shit coins. Yeah, Tesla pulling back a little bit, but that was kind of expected. Overall, the monthly really is starting to shape up to be the next potential higher low here. You already have potential for hidden bullish evidence between the low from March of sorry, not of this year, but of last year. So that will be present, but it will require September to flip back around and really realistically like close back above about 380 or so. For right now, Tesla, probably a little bit of pullback, if anything, in the short term. Other than that, I don't think it's going to be like a catastrophic, failure pullback. I do think ultimately this thing does reclaim $400, but that's probably a September thing, not necessarily right now. I think you got a little bit of waiting sideways and down here, and then then you get your try in later-ish September. How are you playing all the economic events this week? I don't play events, man. Like, what the fuck? You have no fucking edge in an event. That is the purpose of the event. The event is the catalyst. So unless if you're an insider, you don't have a fucking edge there. So you don't play anything at all, unless if you just like playing when you don't have a fucking edge, in which case, like, enjoy losing money, I suppose. But man, yeah, I like, unless if you're literally an insider and you quite literally know what's going to happen during an event, I don't think it's worth playing or positioning specifically for an event. Hell no, man. Hell no. I want to avoid having risk during those times, or at least have covered risk in a way, like it's calculated. But fucking taking a position based upon event, no way, man. Absolutely no way. Oh, God, there really are a ton of shitcoins today. Fucking Jupiter. Oh dear Lord, I can only imagine where this thing is nowadays. Oh my God, man, we need to go back to a bear market like immediately. This needs to happen. Do you just like search up the shittiest fucking looking charts on CoinMarketCap and say, this one's gonna be great? I'll send it to Crown. He's gonna validate my views for sure. He loves charts that go down and to the right only. Like, oh my fucking God, man. This is painful to look at. It's so painful for a new move for Bitcoin to emerge. I wouldn't even say, it's not obvious, but it is, compared to what you typically get, relatively easier. And you go out and look for shit like this. Like, what the fuck? I can't feel bad for you when you do that. Like, I cannot have sympathy. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. This is garbage. It's fucking garbage. It's fucking garbage. It is among the worst charts that we've seen today. Now, I won't say it's the worst chart because honestly, there are so many bad ones, but it is worthwhile to flush, I do think. So it's gonna be fun. Oh! My Angus! Micah says, or Film Ninja says, VVV is looking good. Yeah, I think we looked at that one last week. This was another example of a new shitcoin that if I had to play a shitcoin, I'd probably play something like this. Compare the last chart with this chart. These are worlds apart. They are inverse charts. But even this one, probably gonna have a little bit of a short-term pullback. But look, I'm not saying that it's bearish. I just think it's a range play here. You test the top side of the range. You're probably going to come back down, I don't know, somewhere around like $15 or so and try for a higher low. But that's good. That's fine. Compare that with the chart that just goes down and to the right only. I mean, God, man. Oh. It's a self-dildoing. It's a self-dildoing, sir. Hood. We could look at Hood. I can't look at INJ, man, because you've spammed so much. I can't do it. Hood, actually pretty good right here. I like the higher low, and ultimately, I don't necessarily think that it's ready like today, but I do think that this thing probably does give another try towards that 120 high. And I don't know, maybe later this year it does break out. But for right now, still more or less a range play. Okay, probably not going that low. Okay, think that, or that was this low right here, wasn't it, I suppose? So yeah, like I said, already did happen. Anyway, short term, I do think that you give another test towards like 115, 120. Do I think you're going to break out on the next test? I don't know, probably not. Still think that you fill out this range a little more sideways, but that is a good range for the boo laws to hold. That is ultimately bullish. And the second that you really just trade back above 120 is the second that this thing is confirming its breakout towards previous all-time highs and probably beyond, man. It's not bad. All right, cool. McDonald's, we could look at McDonald's really quick. I haven't looked at this chart in, God, it feels like a very long time. Yeah, I think people figured out that it's unhealthy as shit. At any rate, look, I don't love it here, but I do think that you're going to form a swing low. So I think at the very least, you'll try an upside move back up to like, 300 or so. Technically, there should be some hidden bullish divergence because the monthly RSI is lower than what you saw from July of 2 years ago in 2024, and even lower than September of 2022 when things were trading, decently lower. So I think that this area is a good place to bet on a bounce. I don't know if I'd necessarily just blindly say it's definitely going to bottom there, but I do think you're in for a nice bounce and then come back to it after that. And that might take, a couple months to play out realistically. That was a monthly look after all. If you look at the weekly time frame, similar thing here. I think you got a little bit more sideways and a bit, and then a nice bounce towards $300. Chris Fella says Tabot. Oh God, Taubot Weth. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking. We are going deep inside the shitcoin drawer right now. Yeah, terrible. Again, I sincerely wonder, do people just like, is there some sort of a website that lets you know what the shittiest charts of the day are? Because we're finding all of them. It's incredible. It's truly incredible. Look, like, is this thing going to bounce with Bitcoin if Bitcoin continues? Yes, it will. Is it going to be the best gainer of all time? Probably not. Is it going to end up in a rally that eventually and inevitably fails? Probably yes. You got some, you do have a bullish engulfing weekly that just closed. So I wouldn't necessarily be bearish, but if it pulled back to 3.5 cents, that's fine. At the same time, it's just hard to trust these things. If they put a popcorn rally in, then maybe 10 cents if you're like the luckiest of lucky. But other than that, man, I mean, it's just hopes and dreams that you're betting on here. At least that's my opinion, man. I like, why? Like, fucking why? You have infinite amounts of choices. Why this? Like, just fucking why? I'm genuinely curious. I just want to know, like, why? Do you like love the project or something? Or I don't know, maybe you have inside information. Was it based off of technicals? Because I hope it wasn't that. But anything else, I would be interested to know why. Again, I'm not saying that they can't bounce. These things will bounce if Bitcoin bounces. My point is that all the bounces fail. They do not get the easy uptrend moves that the newer shitcoins will get, or the more constructive shitcoins that we saw earlier, like Zcash or fucking XMR. Again, I don't even own these things, but I'm gonna call a spade, and those objectively, like, they're not bad charts. I just don't get it. Anyways, okay, cool. Arctic Fox says, update on the CELH trade. Okay, CELH, got it. I made on the 6th that you were not impressed with. On the 8-hour call option was $20 strike, $9.5. Currently $18.35. Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So you did it. You did it right. Congrats, man. Yeah. Don't listen to me, man. If you're gonna fucking bottom call with, by buying calls, and go for it. I still maintain that is a bad do long term. Like, to repeat those sort of that sort of an action, that's not going to lead towards good things long term. But hey, this one worked out. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I would be curious to know what your they're Jan 2028 call. They are Jan 2028. Okay, so they're pretty far away. So they probably actually did move. You're probably actually doing pretty well right there. Wait a second. Oh, the call option was $9.5, and now it's $18.35. Okay, hold on. On the 8-hour, oh God, like what are we doing here, sir? What are we doing here? On the 6th, so I'm guessing you were somewhere down around here. So you're about, I don't know, $25-ish. You trade up to $35. Yeah, I guess your trade would have been a little bit better than just buying spot, but yeah, I maintain my position, man. I would not. Probably not do that, but what I would do in that situation, man, like, if you just want to be long, just buy the underlying. You're going to be better off doing that. I'm telling you, you are going to be better off doing that. Because this thing is putting in a low here. So at least you got that. But in that case, I just want to own long stock, like, not own fucking way far out of the money, or sorry, not far out of money calls, but just far out expiration calls. I don't know, man. Teach their own, I guess. Anyways, okay, cool. Lord Yamcha says, thoughts on Near, unique from other shitcoins? Absolutely fucking not. if nothing's changed in the past, like, half year, and what do you know? Mr. Yamcha. What the fuck is this, man? The fuck is this? What is this, sir? What is this? What is this? What the fuck is this? More garbage charts. Again, I'm not saying that it can't bounce. Even the shittiest of shitcoins will bounce. They can and will bounce. But when we're talking about like maximizing fucking gains, do you choose a chart that has been down and to the right only for more than one cycle? Fuck no. No, 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 no. Like goddamn no. What the fuck no? How could this possibly be different than other shitcoins, man? It's just down. It's just fucking down. Why? Why? Is my AVAX good? Oh dear Lord. Is my AVAX good? Look, the answer to all shitcoin questions is 99.9% of the time they're all fucking garbage, okay? Again, what's the difference in this goddamn fucking piece of shit chart right here? The difference is it's getting... Hellish One says, because they haven't gone through the course and say your trend is your friend. Some people just hate the trend, I guess. They hate friends, they hate trends. Fair enough. Look, again, in case if someone clips me out of context, I am not saying these things won't go up if Bitcoin goes up. They will. But all of your rallies will fail and you will eventually underperform. You don't have to play shitcoin roulette to get the big gains. If you're going to play shitcoin roulette, you will almost undoubtedly be better off by finding the new shitcoins, not sifting through the fucking gigantic, enormous pile of old shitcoins that have been around for more than 3 years, and instead choosing something that's new because you don't have the laundry list of fucking bankrupt holders who are looking to sell at break even or worse to get out and cause the next major massive cascading downside move. You don't have to do it. Just because you saw it do some crazy over here in 2021 does not mean it's going to do it over here. In fact, that'll probably never happen ever again. You will not see this thing ever get back to that previous high. Extremely likely that will never happen. Anyways, Space Nectar says, being a contrarian only works on assets that are worth a shit. That is true. And also being a contrarian usually just loses you money. I mean, being a contrarian usually is actually wrong. That's why it's a contrarian. But when they're right, they're usually right really, really big. So yeah, everyone thinks like you're cool to be a contrarian, and that's just not true. Like just because you have a different opinion does not mean you're right. All right. Let's see. Amazon. Yeah, we could look at Amazon. Yeah, some real stonk action over here. Real stonk shit. And it's going up. Well, kind of. Overall, I like it. Short term, actually, might have already found the low. I mean, the monthly did just reconnect. So if it is going to be bullish, that's probably your low. Basically, last Friday's low, around 255 or so. If it does drop lower, I'd call into question this current rally, but the current upside trend. But until then, I think you're kind of at the exact area that you'd be looking for a higher low if it is going to be bullish. So pretty easy to make a setup around that. Andrew Plus says NEM. Hopefully this is not the fucking crypto. Oh, thank God, man. Oh man, my voice can't even take it anymore. Already at previous highs. Good. Fuck yeah. See, this is what good shit does. They make new highs. They make new highs. Crown, should I buy the thing that goes up and makes new highs? Or maybe, I got this crazy idea, bro. I'm telling you, I've been studying crypto Twitter for like 2 weeks, okay? I've been reading every fucking post. All right, I'm locking in. And you know what? I found when charts go down and to the right for years and years, if you buy them, they continue going down. So I'm going to fucking buy them because I hate making money. Thank God. This is what a good chart looks like. Yes, making new highs is good. Probably a short-term pullback based off of testing your previous all-time high, but this thing is very likely to make new all-time highs in September. Or, I don't know, maybe not necessarily September, but like end of September slash October. Short-term, if you pull back down to like 120, 122 region, that's fine. This thing is good. It's good. The quarterly time frame is also working on a bullish engulfing. Still, you have to wait until end of September, but you know you can see the long term here a lot better. Chris Fell is looking at Circle. Okay, nice. Last I saw Circle, Circle actually has something interesting going on here. This one's quite. This one is in an interesting spot in my opinion. You're a little bit above the daily 200 simple right now. Short term, yeah, you might get a pullback down to like $81, $82. That's fine if that happens. Ultimately, I do think that this one does want to try higher towards 100 to 105 region. And this one has a real chance now to confirm a real macro reversal. You do have a weekly higher low in place, this low from July compared to the low from February of this year. And it will confirm the reversal if and when it does actually just trade back above these March and April highs right here. Now, could you front run that reversal? Yes, you could, or at least with high probability you could. There is still a risk there if you don't fully wait for the reversal to confirm, but that would require a closure back above the breakdown dildo right here, which is about 110. So if you get that on a weekly, then yes, I'd probably call a reversal from there. Overall, I think this one's super interesting. It's something that I do want a piece of, but I'm still not going to buy right here. I'm happy to buy it higher, even though, yes, I will be buying it higher, but I'd rather buy a confirmed trend reversal rather than something that still is kind of a question mark right here, although there is some points of hopium absolutely right there. All right, cool. If you're actually very cool because you have a contrarian opinion, smash the like button. And if you're not a contrarian, I don't know, also smash the like button. My brain is just completely fucking disrendered today. Lord Yamcha says, how about render? All right. Can someone start a poll if Lord Yamcha is either a troll or retarded? I would like to know, because if he's retarded, then we can just talk to him and help. But thank you for that, Lord Yamcha. This is so strong. Let me read this comment. Lord Yamcha 666. How about render in all capitals? Strong project on paper. So strong, bro. Oh, so strong. Oh, look at that strong paper. You're so strong. You're so big and strong. Oh, I can't wait to see how big and strong you're going to get. Oh, that's incredible. What? Lord Yamcha says, I am neither. Fuck. Okay, so I don't know. Look, there's nothing wrong with being retarded. I am retarded myself. I have dyslexia and also and I have a speech impediment. I stutter all the time too. So I am actually a certified retard. I can say the word. I can be a retard. I am a retard. I have the validation. There ain't nothing wrong with being a retard, but you have to acknowledge it first, because otherwise, if I didn't acknowledge I'm a fucking retard, I would not understand why the hell I'm stuttering, or why the hell I'm reading numbers backwards all the time. Dyslexia is a hell of a fucking retardation to have for someone who reads numbers all day, every fucking day. Don't let them stop you from following your dreams. That's your positive message of the day. Yeah, so again, I'm not saying that shit like this can't bounce. It can and will if Bitcoin truly is strong. But is it strong on its own? Fuck no. Is it strong on paper? It's paper strong, bro. Paper strong. Oh, man. If only you could trade the paper. Unfortunately, you have to trade the chart, and it appears that, it's fucking garbage. Again, it still can rally. Just think that there's better options elsewhere, in my humble opinion. Anyways, what's your stance on gold? Because NEM is a miner. Gold's really making me reconsider my bearishness on it, but I will still hold on to it until proven otherwise. And I would be proven otherwise if gold really starts to close weeklies back up about, 4,900. Right now, it's still below the 50% retracement level. So I still look at this as overall bearish. I was hoping it would just get rejected and make it super easy at about 4,500. That would have been a much easier call with it above the 200 simple, but still below some important technical areas. It makes it more difficult. It's like, I'm not bullish, but I can't really be super, super bearish right now. I don't think there's going to be much downside in September. Maybe down to like 4,450, 4,400 at worst, something like that. Yeah. And look, like, is Bitcoin and gold trading together? In which case, if I think the low for Bitcoin is in, then I'd have to be bullish on gold too, right? I guess. One of them's going to fail. But I'm still extremely skeptical on gold, just based off all the higher term prime signals that we've gone over in the past. I won't go over them right now because don't want to bore the shit out of you. But yeah, the biggest counterpoint that I can come up with right now is that gold and Bitcoin are trading together. It seems like they are some of the only assets that are green on the day right now. And I think that the low for Bitcoin is in. So if the low for Bitcoin is in, then probably should carry over to gold. At the same time, I look at gold chart and I'm not fucking bullish on that chart, like very bearish on that chart. It's really, really difficult. I don't know what to make out of that, honestly. I really don't. Curtis says NVIDIA, daily, weekly. NVDERP, okay, NVIDIA. Weird one, actually. Does this one have earnings coming up, or am I thinking of something completely different? Let's go to the map over here. Hey, show me the map. Hey, map? Oh, Claude, you fucking asshole. Hold on. This is strange. It didn't actually do it. That's weird. Huh. Well, that sucks. I'm pretty sure there was one big earnings this week. I'm not sure if it was NVIDIA though. It does, says I1. Okay, nice. Thank you for clarifying on that. Hard to make any real calls before earnings come out. But right now, I do like this one consolidated at a high level. I'm not willing to call it bearish unless if it comes back down below the July low. That would be the obvious pivot right there. Until then, you know, does it just have a short pullback down to like 205, 206, 207 region and then bounce, you know, on an earnings? I think that's very possible. Basically, I just don't want to be bearish on this thing until you're down below the July lows, which is 190. Until then, yeah, this thing is really extended right here. It's really, really crazy, but I think it could actually get more crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see new highs in September, in fact. Yeah, I'd give it a chance, but still want to see earnings first, because if it is gonna lose that 190 low, that's probably what would do it. Until then, short term, yeah, a little bit more on this pullback, but you know, 205 is a lot different than 190, obviously. Yeah, we've looked at Tesla earlier. Let's see, we got Corn Belt Code. It says XAR. Nice. This is one that I actually do have a small position in. It is a defense ETF. And this one is probably among one of the better ones. But most of my money is actually in ITA. Anyways, you're looking at the monthly time frame right here. We shall go and do exactly that. I am not liking what I'm seeing at the end of this month of August. If it closes the month out something like this, or really anywhere below 265, or sorry, 268, because that's about 265 right now, but 268, if it closed the month out below there, that would be concerning to me. For a much deeper pullback down to like 240, 235 region. Until then, yeah, it's crazy up here for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it have, you know, extend the pullback down to like 255, bounce, reclaim that monthly closure, and then continue onwards and upwards. But hey, again, if the monthly close below 268, I think that would be kind of a big red flag to me. Yeah. That would be a big red flag to me in this case. Really don't like what the bi-weekly is doing here as well. What about the 3-week time frame? Let's check out this one. Are there any secrets hidden in this one? Yeah, I do think you're going to test some downside in the short term here, but doesn't mean that the monthly will close below. Just need to see a nice big old titty bounce around like 255 or so. That'd be nice. Anyways, Andrew Plus says, how about EQX? Okay, this is a new one, EQX. Oh, this is Equinox. Is this like the gym? I think they're like a gym chain, something like that. Anyways, oh, it's a miner like NEM. All right. And similar chart to NEM as well. Short term, I do think you probably pull back down to like 17 and a quarter to 17 and a half. By the same token, I do think that would be an opportunity, at least on the first pass. Monthly does have hidden bullish evidence here on Caretakers RSI, so wouldn't be surprised to see this move extend in September to like $20 to $21. But that's where I'd be looking for this rally to get held back if it is indeed, you know, if gold is indeed topping. But looking at this thing on its own, this chart on its own actually is indicative of a macro reversal, very, very much long term. Gold, on the other hand, is obviously a much different chart than this. Yeah, I'm not really bearish on this chart, man. I do think you got a pullback, but I think it's probably an opportunity. Anyways, Lord Yamcha's back. How about Morpho? God fucking damn it. Chart doesn't look bad. All right, I'm going to go into this one with an open mind. We've been a little bit too harsh on you. I've probably been way too harsh on a lot of people, in which case I do apologize. But we're going to go with an open mind on this one, Mr. Lord Yamcha 666 for Morpho. And if it's good, fuck yeah, man. I'm going to be very, very happy. If it's bad, we're going to have to ban you. Anyways. All right. Morpho, my dicko. Much better. Much fucking better. Thank the Lord. Holy shit. Thought I was running out of fucking memes. Yeah, much better here. Again, this is something that has only been around for about a year, and it actually has a history of just going sideways, not fucking dumping to all hell. And more importantly, you're back around your weekly range highs. Now, have you confirmed the breakout just yet? No, but you probably do. Again, this would be the time for a lot of these things to try those breakouts. In the very short term, however, do you extend the pullback a little bit more? Yes, probably down to like, I don't know, $2.50 or something like that. But I'd be looking for a bounce there. I would get bearish on this thing if it did lose to 223 or 224 on a daily closing basis. I'd actually get very, very bearish, and I'd say, nope, you just found like this shitcoin just proved that's a shitcoin. But in the short term, yeah, I think you got to pull back here. But I think that pullback, I don't know, somewhere around like 240, probably bounces, and at that point, hopefully get another try to the upside, and this thing actually breaks out above $3. This thing actually does something, in my opinion, probably very interesting. Anyways, yeah, thank God, man. Not another fucking shitcoin chart. Okay, beautiful. Netgasm says, coin on the daily and weekly. I love you. I love you as well, sir. Coinbase. All right, this one, probably trading with Bitcoin here, and it is. And yeah, I do have to say, Coinbase's long-term chart is just like, not inspiring. Not inspiring. But short term, do I think you have a little bit more on this pullback down to like, I don't know, 175 to 177? Sure. If it wants to, that's fine. But I'd be expecting to bounce around there. Ultimately, I do think that this rally will try higher towards 200. 200 to 205 is what I'd be looking for. The problem with this rally, though, is that you'd still be on a lower high there on the weekly. It's not until you actually reclaim the May high where you have a potential reversal in hand. And even then, you don't even have a weekly high or low yet. So that to me is always going to be questionable, but I do think you try some upside in September. The question is, do you actually reclaim that 222 high or not? If you do, okay, we got some really interesting to look at here. I might even buy some more Coinbase if that happens. And if you don't, if you get rejected, especially somewhere around about 200 to 205, that would look very fucking ugly to me. But until then, I think there's some hopium here. I like the volume on last week's massive green dildo, so that's good. It's also a bullish engulfing as well, I think. Indeed it is. It's just barely, but it is. So, I do think short-term pullback, try for a higher low, and then try a little bit higher over the next couple of weeks to like 200 to 205. Just don't want to see a nasty rejection right there. All right, cool. Chris Fell says Zcash daily weekly. Let's check it out. I don't think we've actually looked at it on this stream. I just know because I've actually been looking at it on my own time that this one is at new highs, which is what we did say was quite fucking likely here. Other than that, man, I mean, you're kind of in no man's land right here. If you do want to retest the breakout at 750, that's fine. This thing could trade very, very volatilely. Just don't want to see it below 750. That's the really important thing to focus on here. As long as it's above about 750 or 744, if you want to be super exact, breakout's real, looking for new highs, and probably a good September. Yeah. Other than that, short term, I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback here, sometime this week or next week. But like I said, anywhere above 744 is fair game, and I think an opportunity. Long term, if you are focused on long term, monthly and above, look, I think that this thing is poised for new highs in September. This is good. This is good. This is good. That's what a good chart looks like. All right, cool. Yeah, if you're on a daily, a little bit of sideways, maybe a pullback like later this week or next week, something like that. But overall, I think it's probably setting up for a nice little good September. Yeah, Arcade. If you can't act like a normal human being who just doesn't like spam fucking shitcoin requests, then unfortunately you have to be bound, man. So I don't know. This guy just can't fucking get the goddamn message. And honestly, man, it's like for everyone. Like this is for the whole community. People who are like hanging out here and shit. It's fucking annoying when someone just starts spamming. Like, use your fucking brain. Use your fucking brain. Anyways, Tokyo Channel, what's up, man? It's been a long time. Holy shit. Hope all is well, dude. Hello and good night. Good night and hello to you as well. Too Much Espresso says IMNM, rip or dip targets. Didn't we look at this one last week for you? Yeah, Immunom Gnome, something rather. Yeah, not bad there. I do like this one. I like that weekly closure as well. I think that you're going to try and move up to like $31, $32. Maybe a short-term pullback there, but really the focus is on the monthly here. This thing is setting up for a macro reversal. You have low, you have high, you have higher low, you have same high, higher low along the way. So you got two higher lows with same highs. The bias is absolutely on a bullish breakout. Just need to see it close out the monthly here or higher, or the weekly above that previous weekly swing high, which was like $32 or something like that. But either which way, man, I think it's formality. I think this thing's going out. This is good. Simple chart. Like I said, when it's a good chart, it's usually just obvious. Like, you don't really have to think about it all that much. This is good. It's good. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Cool. All right, let me read through some more of these. We'll definitely not look at Solana though. CB is for on-ramp. Yeah, I mean, look, Coinbase, regardless, like some people have very negative opinions about Coinbase. I can't say that I've had bad experiences myself there, but I have heard about a lot of bad experiences. It is still going to be probably like the main venue for especially normies getting into Bitcoin. I mean, shit, man. That was the first venue that I ever learned about. And, you know, you need to move some amount of US derps into, you know, into crypto, and Coinbase is probably be the first, you know, the first port of call for that. So yeah, man. Anyways, cool. All right. As you are immune to shitcoin at this point, virtual please, breakout or fake out. All right. It better be fucking good, Balti. Oh man, it better be fucking good. Virtual coin. I can already feel the rage rising. Why do you do this? Why do you do this, man? Viluslav says, hey, Crown, I'm up $20,000. Learned all from you. Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome, man. But congrats to you, dude. You're the one who took all the actions. Like, shit. That's great. Go spend it on hookers and blow. I'm kidding. I mean, unless that's what you really want to do. Like, shit, man. GDAX. I don't bring back GDAX. Oh, GDAX. Well, what? Oh, is that what they called Coinbase? Global Digital Asset Exchange? I think was that the former name of Coinbase, GDAX, or was that Coinbase Advanced? Something like that, man. Looking for a ghostwriter for my next book, The Art of Shamil. What the fuck? You interested in a job? I have no idea what the hell you're saying, sir. Can you look at service now, Crown? A ticker would be great, but I think the ticker is just now. So yeah, we can look at it. Nice. It bottomed on a magical line. Beautiful. I kind of like this for a macro low here, at least a swing low. I mean, shit, man, that's a quarterly swing low. So I would be expecting, you know, the next 3 to 6 months to try some real upside. But, you know, we're talking about 3 to 6 months. In the short term, there's going to be a lot of sideways and boringness on a weekly time frame, for example. So short term, the range obviously is going to be between about the 200 simple here at about 140, let's call it. And your midline at like 112. I don't think anything's really going on in the short term here, but if we fast forward like 3 to 6 months from now, I think this thing's probably trading up closer to 150. That does look like a really good quarterly pivot. So should swing from there, man. Not bad. Yeah, Coinbase Pro was GDAX in 2019. Yeah, that's what I know the name from. That's right. Or Coinbase Advanced, something like that. Like the advanced mode, like this mode on Coinbase was basically GDAX. So I don't know why they called it different, but GDAX was a cool name, man. That was a dope name. GDAX, Global Digital Asset Exchange. Like, that's great. Should have stayed with that. Yeah. Let's see. Trump bought Visa, or you mean Visa, I think, and MasterCard. What do you think of this of the charts? Did Trump actually buy them, or did like some entity associated with him buy it? I don't know. Will Ondo be a turd that rises to the top? I'm sure it's going to be great, for sure. It's going to be incredible, man. Just make sure that you buy all that you can right now and do it on leverage, and then fucking margin your leverage and leverage your margin, and then take out some loans and leverage that, and then take out some more credit cards and leverage that. Ondo's great, man. This is going incredible. So good. So good. Guys, all this going up shit is so overrated. That was so 2021, going up. Huh. Who needs to go up and make money? That's a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of greedy capitalist pigs want such things as that. No, sir. The new hotness is shit going down. Look, this thing probably has a popcorn rally here, as do most of these absolute fucking dog shit pieces of garbage coins that you keep on putting in front of my fucking face. I'm not saying that these things can't rally. They can and will rally if Bitcoin rallies, but they are long-term losers. They are fucking garbage. Why are you married to these just, these monstrosities of charts? I will never understand. I will never understand. Is it a turd that rises to the top? It's a turd that goes in your mouth and out your asshole because you ate it willingly. David Polano, what's up, man? What's your opinion on ETF like V? Okay, let me bring it up first. I don't really know this one. VWCE. Oh, this Vanguard's FTSE All World. I don't know if it's English. Probably not great, but this is a weird one, man. I'm on a weekly chart, and this thing seems to have really weird price action going on right here. There must not be much trading going on. Okay, 500,000 volume for a weekly on something that trades at $200. Yeah, that is pretty small. I mean, I don't know, some weird's going on here. I don't have an opinion on this because it's just a straight up chart. So it is obviously good, but I don't have any technical tools to really be looking at this from. I'm trying to make sense of what the fuck these are right here. That's usually indicative of like very low liquid markets, and you wouldn't think something like that for something like this. So I'm kind of thrown for a loop here. If we're just going off the trend, obviously it's good, but I don't have any real strong opinions on it, man. Other than long-term trend good. Short term, I don't know, maybe pop down to like 190 and try for another higher low there. But even that, I don't feel very confident about. This thing trades very bizarrely. Again, what is all this shit? Maybe a line chart would help. Let's see. I mean, line chart is obviously bullish. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see it try for a higher low, kind of where it's at right now, and try again to the upside, I suppose. But again, not really going off of much there, and kind of a weird one. So yeah, no super strong opinions. Would you buy now, Crown? I don't know. We looked at it earlier. Whatever I said then is still relevant. Capitalist pigs and commie swines. It's the same picture. Capitalists and commies are actually very different. Like you could say communists and fascists are very similar in their extremes, like in terms of what the outcome is. Capitalists and communism, no, I would not say that. That's horseshoe theory right there. I don't know why you see V. Oh, hold on. Sorry, David Polano. Let me bring that back up. That might be VWCE. It might have been on me, man. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I am correct. Yeah, there is no VWCE. It just brings up VWRA. Trades on London, which I'm guessing you're probably not. I don't think you're English, unless if I'm wrong. But yeah, for whatever reason, I guess I can't pull it up. I don't know what the fuck that's all about, though, man. That's very strange. Elongates is VST monthly. Okay, nice. Vistra. We haven't looked at this one in a while, but I remember I don't like it, and I still don't like it. Yeah, I do not like this thing, man. I think this thing's going down here. You know, giving it the benefit of the doubt, putting it in a range right here. It is on the verge of breaking. For a weekly, technically you'd want to see it close below 132.5. For a monthly, you'd want to see it close below about 138. You know, maybe got another bounce here. Overall, I'm not very optimistic about it personally, but technically, yeah, you might still have a bounce there, to be fair. Again, do I think that that's going to ultimately play out in the fashion that I'm guessing you probably wanted to? Maybe not. I'd be betting on this one more than likely going sideways and bleeding out towards $100, but technically speaking, there is still a chance as long as the weekly pivot holds, which 132.5, or the monthly, which was like 138, something like that, man. XRPP, we kind of looked at this one already, but I'll go directly to exactly what you're asking for, which is 4-hour daily weekly. 4-hour time frame, bit of sideways here. You know, if you want to retrace back down to 140, that's fine. Daily time frame. You know, I do think it's possible you might see a slight retracement here to like 140-ish region, but you've kind of already got that this morning, I guess. Like overall, I do think a lot of these things are going higher, man. I do think Bitcoin's going higher. So if I think Bitcoin's going higher, I should probably think that XRP is going higher as well. I have it going higher in my LARP lines, although it did already hit our 150 target. So the easy hit, the easy move was had, or 160 target. Yeah, I can say this though about XRP. I actually would be bullish on XRP as long as it's above 130. Like super easy setup right there, super easy invalidation. I think it might be difficult to even get it below like 135 at this point. You know, assuming that it is bullish on a pullback. If it's bearish, obviously, then you know 0 is as always a target. But yeah. Anyways, sir, when will my fart coin moon? I don't know. I'm gonna go mint some, and then maybe those will float up to the heavens, and perhaps that will make you rich. Oh, are you German, David? Let's go to Mr. D. He's looking at NBIS. This one seems to come up just about every stream. NBIS, Nebius Group. Let's see. Nice little bounce there this morning. LARP lines, I think, are still kind of directionally correct. Yeah, the pullback's happening a little bit further than what, you know, I would have anticipated, but that's okay. Monthly time frame specifically, I'd be looking at this month's low as a nice pivot at 176.25. So basically an invalidation for bullishness as long as you're above there. Okay. The second that you come back down below there, not okay. Short term, I think it's just trading in a range, you know, on the highs, which is generally a good sign. I think it's okay, honestly, man. Quarterly time frame is where things start to get like a little bit, hey, what the fuck am I looking at? But you know, again, to give it its fair analysis, this month's low at 176.25, I think is a really, really good pivot on this thing. So I'd be looking for a little bit of sideways, another try to the upside, and I would invalidate that statement again if you did lose this month's low. Not good. Yeah, you're saying daily, weekly 55 and 213, still primary structural line in the sand for higher low. Yeah, if I'm going off the daily, you know, 213 makes a little more sense, but you know, this is still a gap fill down here, down to about 197. So yeah, it's going a little bit lower than what I probably would have liked for it to do, but I think it'll still be okay here, honestly. I mean, shit, even when I look at the daily time frame, it very easily could be that this thing is doing something like this. You know, you got your range high right there. You got your range low right here. You're basically in the middle of the range with a gap kind of where you're at right now. So it should try a bounce attempt right here. If it loses that, I do think you have a big downside move to, you know, somewhere in this pocket between like 175 to 150-ish region. But until then, I'd give this area right here to bounce it and try for, you know, a real higher low. But I think it probably just grinds it out over the next couple of weeks, man. Do you know PS, Pershing Square? Do I know it? Yeah, I know the founder for sure. Is that a chart request? Maybe. I don't know. Pump fund new all-time high soon. I don't know. Is this one of the new shit coins that's going crazy? Let's check it out. I guess this is the chart to go to for it. I really don't know. I don't know about new all-time high, but yeah, again, an example of a better new shit coin. Like this one's been around for about a year. So again, it doesn't have the previous cycle overhang shit to deal with. I don't know about new all-time high soon, but I do think if this thing can really close back above that 5.5% number, then I do think you have a pretty big move up, another 50% move. I don't know about new all-time highs just yet, but look, like if you're gonna play new shit coins, this shit like this makes a lot more sense to me than fucking a Cardano coin or doggy coin, you know, shit like that, man. Cran, when are you gonna start spearfishing? I don't even know what that is, man. I don't even know what that is, sir. Ackman, what about Ackman? Oh, he is the CEO of Pershing Square. I mean, I know of him. I don't know him. That would be cool. I really like his takes on X. I think he's overall one of the good guys. Is Ethereum better to hold than Bitcoin right now? We could look at the ratio actually has been in favor of Ethereum for the last like month or two. Hard to say right here, because if it is going to get rejected, this month's high would make a lot of sense, but I don't know if I don't know if I'd go with if I'd run with that just yet. I think there's a chance for a real reversal here, and this thing could get up to like 4 million Satoshis. I actually do think that is possible here. This was a target from a while ago at 3.3 million Satoshis. It's already been hit. Do I think the rally's over already? I don't know. Yeah, I'd expect hidden bearish divergence on this time frame, which there's not. So I would be cautiously optimistic here. I'm saying this as someone who does not own Ethereum. I don't really like Ethereum. I think it's kind of weird. I don't really care about Ethereum, honestly. Like I don't even think it's weird. I just don't give a shit. But in terms of the ratios, I think this ratio actually does have some hopium here for the short and medium term pertaining to the monthly time frame. I think that you could easily have a move up to 4 million Satoshis. That technically would still not be bullish long term, but that would be a damn nice move from where you're at right now. So, what's going to be the better hold over the next, 3 to 5 months? I would be betting on Ethereum right now, actually. Let's go look at the Ethereum chart. Yeah, objectively, the Ethereum chart is actually in a better position. Yeah, especially in the short term too. Like very interesting right there. Yeah, I think this thing's probably loading a move up towards 3,000. Honestly, man, it's not bad. It ain't bad, man. Ackman made me so much bread when he sold that Netflix position in a block trade in 2022. Yeah, man. My pinky is stronger than Vitalik's entire body. I don't doubt it, but luckily his body is not related to the chart that you see on the screen. So there's that. Did you cover SpaceX? No. Usually don't really look at SpaceX because it's just so new, but I guess it had like a couple months now. So yeah, I don't have an opinion on this chart, man. There ain't nothing obvious to me here. There's no real structure. It's just low, high, low, high. I mean, it is a downtrend, I guess. So there's that, but would I be making trades off that? Hell no. If I wanted to buy it just to own it, would I do it here? Also no. I want to see something that's obvious, man. I want to see something that is obvious before I put money to risk. Gold 4,500 or 4,700 first? That's a good question. Let's go back to it. I would be, God, it's really fucking close to 4,700. So it'd kind of be stupid to not say 4,700, but I actually do think 4,500 would be more likely or close to 4,500. Like maybe not 4,500 exactly, but like 4,530, for example, for gold specifically. Yeah. Or 40. Yeah. Something like that. Cool. All right. Garrett says, Lily Daily, weekly, please, sir. Long lame Genghis Krong. Oh, shit. That guy. I fucking hate that guy. LLY, weekly and daily. Gotcha. Overall, good. Oh, pharmaceutical. Yeah. So health technology. This is, in my opinion, a part of the major narrative right now. Monthly has a chance for a bullish engulfing. This is what I really be focusing on this chart. I know you didn't ask about this, but this, we're so close to the end of the month here that this would be a major signal if it does happen. If you close above 1249 or basically just 1250, you will have a bullish engulfing dildo on the monthly time frame, and you're extremely likely to get new all-time highs in at least September, probably even October at that point. Weekly time frame, still fine. I'm bullish on this thing as long as you're above last week's low for like a trendy move from here. I know that it looks absolutely crazy and sounds crazy as well, but again, if that monthly close above that previous high, I'm not bearish on that in any way, shape, or form. I guess also if you lost this month's low at 801, that would be pretty ugly, but the trend is your friend, and the trend is up on every time frame that matters. Daily time frame as well. Daily time frame does have a lot of drives of bearish divergence here, so maybe a short-term correction down to like 1,200 or maybe 1180, 1190-ish region, but I'd be looking for higher lows. And again, I really truly think that the focus here on the monthly would be much more appropriate. Again, we're very close to the end of the month, and this one has potentially a major monthly signal going on. If it confirms the signal, you have a pretty easy hold. If you do not confirm the signal, then it's not necessarily terrible, but it does offer up the potential for a real swing high here. Again, if you do take out this month's low at 1,100, you're probably looking at another 10 to 15% move to the downside below $1,000. So that's kind of problematic. Cool. Mr. D says, good day, sir and Zers. Iron, we've kind of done Iron, but you have a very specific question here, so maybe we could add color to that. Pulling back from the 200 SMA on the daily, let me just double check. I believe that is indeed fact check true. What is your ideal high or low? Bid zone and invalidation. Well, I wouldn't buy something like this. So Zero. But look, I do think that you're in a range right now on the weekly time frame, and I do think you're probably going to come a little bit closer to about 37-ish. Somewhere around there would make a lot of sense. Anywhere between like 30, 34 and a half to 38, I think is a good zone if I really wanted to buy this thing, which I don't. But yeah, do I think it's ready to go to the upside from here? Probably not. I think this one kind of grinds its way out sideways at best. And realistically, there is a real chance for failure here too. You know, if you start to close weeklies below $34, I mean, this thing can and will fall apart. But until then, you know, I can understand the optimism with it. It's not my personal position, but yeah. Overall, a little bit of sideways and down. I'd be looking for higher lows somewhere between 34 and a half to 38, in that zone right there. Probably close to like 36 if I really had to like get out my crystal ball and guess. Or sorry, 36 and a half to 37 would be like my pinpoint area if I really absolutely needed to. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Oh, you got earnings on August 27th. I'd probably wait for earnings to happen and then take a position after then. A lot of the time you get some pretty good entries after shit like that. Likes have doubled since green candles crawling. Candles? The fuck did I just hear? What about other YouTube stats? Yeah, they are going up right now, as you would expect, but you know, a couple of days up is obviously not the beginning of a new trend. I mean, you know, that needs to go up for like months and months, but yeah, so far so good. So far so good. Yeah, other than that though, man, I mean, my YouTube stats are so depressed right now, probably because I'm just a fucking retarded asshole. But they are so depressed right now that they are similar to what they were in the summer of 2020. And let me just show you in the summer of 2020 what price action was doing. It was doing one of these. It was basically like sideways in tight ranges for infinity. Essentially, it was these areas right here. Very, very similar stats to that. But keep in mind, during that time, the subscriber base on this channel was around like 50,000, and now it's at 200,000. So the views similar in essence between those two times, but the amount of people probably being shown that significantly higher. So you could even read that as like sentiment way worse in a way. Anyways, Okay. Yeah, of course. I mean, when I actually start to see like a real trend reversal, because realistically, like it doesn't even really show up in my stats just yet because it's so early, it's so young. It's really only been like a few days. I will absolutely be happy to show that, but for right now, I can just tell you off the top of my head, it's still pretty, still pretty depressed. You're not going to see any signal in that right now. Q-Day report. Quantum resistance. Okay, strong username to post content, bro. It's not a fringe narrative anymore. Quantum breaking timelines keep shorting ahead of estimate. Wait, no, hold on. Let me read this as a non-redact. Quantum resistance is not a fringe narrative anymore. Quantum breaking timelines keep shortening ahead of estimates. Only a couple alt dominate that narrative. Oh, dear Lord, it's a fucking shitcoin show. He made his username Q-Day report and then talks about quantum resistance. I mean, look, like at least you believe in your shit, but yeah, man, look, like we don't really take kindly to people like showing their own fucking, highly esteemed projects here. So yeah, thank you for letting us know though. Yeah, I think most people know about quantum at this point, and obviously quantum will matter, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm sure your shitcoin is definitely gonna address that. Anyways, Asti says if you stay 50. Wait, what? Hold on. Asti says, my brain is actually breaking today. If you stay 50 months, ladies, you will understand. Wait, what? If you stay 50 months, ladies, you will understand. Crypto was a thing. Stocks are a thing. Ebb and flow juice is worth a squeeze. I have no fucking clue what you're staying at, Asti, but I like Asti, so nice. I've known Asti for a long time now. I have no fucking clue what the hell she's saying right there, though. Oh, you are now a member for 50 months. Holy shit. That's fucking wild. Oh my God. 50 months. That's how many years? That's close to 5 years. Oh, that's 4 years. That's 5 years. Yes, that's 5 years. It's 4 years. I'm losing my goddamn mind right now, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Evil Gargoyle with Sword says, Zer Ave daily and weekly. Oh God, we're going deep into the fucking shitcoin drawer for this. Great. Oh, great. Oh, just phenomenal. I love it. I love watching these shitcoin charts. Unbelievable. Could be worse, I guess. Could be a little bit worse. Anyways, we're going off a daily and a weekly. Daily time frame. Not really seeing obvious things that are indicative of a pullback just yet. Like these super high RSI reads are probably going to get more continuation first before they start to actually get a pullback. Weekly time frame, you're resting on the 200 simple and the green 55 EMA on the weekly. So I'm gonna be surprised to see this thing make a move towards like 150 to 160 and then pull back. Yeah, other than that, man, I actually do think that you probably try and move towards 150 to 160 and then probably pull back. I don't think it's right here just yet. Maybe is there an obvious signal somewhere I can find? No, not on the 12-hour, 6-hour time frame. Maybe 6-hour time frame did have bearish evidence, but you already got a pullback there, and you already put in hidden bullish evidence. So yeah, I would not be surprised to see this thing make new highs from there. Really wouldn't. Crazy man. Crazy man. Who introduced you to trading? My father. My father was a trader as well. David Polano says, nobody cares about quantum. It's just a problem related to what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that is. And it is just a wallet update. Nice. I like this. Let's listen to David. He makes me feel better. So I'm listening to him. You made Bitcoin to a new address and that's it. Satoshi coins are not relevant since there is no transaction out. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, man. I a lot of these things like quantum, that people start talking about, and it seems like everyone and their mother has the same opinion about it, but it's just like kind of regurgitated. No one actually really is truly in the weeds and knows, but they just keep on repeating these things that like they heard from someone else who sounds like they know what they're talking about. That always makes me like super skeptical that is maybe not accurate, or at least not the full picture. And I think David's probably right. I haven't really done too much research into it myself. I just know that if quantum really is a threat, then it's a threat to everything, not just Bitcoin. So it's like, I guess, I don't know, what should I worry about first? My fucking corns, or maybe like my fucking bank account, or like everything else. I mean, shit, man. Like if you have like quantum supremacy, I mean, it sounds like you basically just get godlike powers effectively. Anyways, okay. It's retail investment fad. Yeah. Yeah. Those sort of narratives, they get kind of spun up, and then you get a lot of people on them, and well, they don't really even know why. Like they're just repeating it again. I want to hear from the people who are like actually in the weeds with that. I want to hear from like developers, the people who are dealing with those problems, and what the real issue is. I want to hear a grounded explanation, not just like, it's the sky falling. It's like, meh. I don't know about that, man. Space Nectar says, yeah, to make that argument, the public companies are going to rob the planet is retarded. Yeah. I mean, you see the same thing with like AI data centers as well. Like AI data centers, everyone's convinced that they're bad, but when you actually look into it, when you look at the actual numbers, it doesn't seem to have the issues that people are afraid about. And when you see who's funding all of the shit talk about AI data centers, it's very interesting as well, because a lot of it's coming from China, especially, which is very interesting because they have no issues at all with having data centers in their country. I don't know, man, might be a little subversion tactic, but yeah, even those guys can't explain it. Yeah, man, it is what it is, man. AI quantum supremacy is essentially every unique advanced technology. Sure. SoFi daily, weekly. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Let's look at some goddamn charts, man. I hate talking about shit that I know nothing about. Quantum. What do I know? Not much. SoFi over here. I do think that you are finding a bit of a local high in the weekly. It is a range high after all. And I do think long-term is probably fine, but yeah, short-term, I would be expecting a little bit of a pullback there. You do have some hidden bullish, or sorry, not hidden bullish, but hidden bearish divergence that will be available between your high from April of this year connected with July, and then this high right here from August, same shit as well. It's a lower high with higher highs on the RSI. So yeah, that is hidden bearish divergence. I think your next swing is down, but I'm not calling a breakdown here, just like, a retracement in the range. Probably holds a range and hopefully puts in a higher low, like above $16. That'll look okay. That would look okay, sir. I know about swimming with manatees. Is that a euphemism for fat people? I've actually done that. Well, not swam with them. I canoed. I canoed with them, I think. Yeah. Exactly. When you look at it, it's China flooding paid shillers, to make everyone like super fucking afraid of this shit. So like, I get it, you know, it's a version tactic. I hope the US is doing shit like that there. Hopefully. I mean, if we have any sense for ourselves, and we are. But yeah, the world is a complicated place. If you want, we can make a stream or a private talk about quantum. I can explain. Are you in the business, David? Oh, you are a software developer. Fuck yeah, man. I don't know. I might need to reach out to you via like email or something like that, and just, I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds with it, honestly, because it's just not my area of expertise. I just want to know like where are people right and where are people wrong with their concerns about it, basically. But yeah, if it's really just like, oh, you have to make a new wallet, and here's what I want to know. Yes, quantum can be an issue, but I would assume, since you and I are talking about it, I'm just like regular fucking pleb. I don't know much about this shit. I would assume that if I'm aware of it, then certainly the Bitcoin developers are aware of it, and they're probably, if they have any sense about them, making a solution for it. And it sounds like the solution is just a new chain or a new wallet, something like that. And it seems like it's relatively simple, relatively easy to do. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't seem like such a big deal to me, to be honest, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. It's very possible, but that wouldn't seem like such a big deal to me. Kaisel says, it reminds me of yeah, the year 2000 when people were afraid of their computers. Yeah, I remember that. The Y2K fear. Yeah, everyone was afraid in the year 2000 that your computers were going to fucking explode and everything was going to break and we'd never be able to use electronics again, because computers, when they were first created, were not programmed to understand that you could get past like a century. I don't know, something like that. Turned out everything was fine. Turned out everything was good. Balti says, Besent says, anyone who helps Iran with money laundering will be removed from the US dollar system. Yeah, it's called adversary. Like, I'm glad the US is finally waking up to the fact that not everyone's our fucking friend. And guess what? You know, it's better to play a little bit of offense instead of defense only. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. Yeah, good to see something like that. But hopefully they go the whole way, man. I mean, that's the biggest issue with a lot of these, you know, proxy wars and whatnot, is that you don't cut the head off the snake. Snake still exists, just regrows. It's not 1999 anymore, and I'm not a silly Billy boomer who thinks computers are inherently evil. Hey, it's all good. It's all good, David. It's all good, man. Hell yeah. Let's see. David. Oh, sorry. David says, basically at the moment, the only risk is on how private keys are generated. It's not a SHA-256 issue, so we just need to wait for an update for new kind of address. Okay, and I'm guessing, David, is that something like that's somewhat easy? Like, I'm not saying that it's easy, but like somewhat simple in an easy process. Just, you know, they just got to do it, I guess. At least people were hoarding water in canned food instead of toilet paper back in 2000. Yeah. Oh God. All right. Area's gone crazy. Now I have to fucking ban another person. Dear Lord, man. The fucking Israel Disrangement Syndrome is claiming so many victims. Actually insane. It's actually fucking insane. I don't give a shit about Israel, but God, man, whenever I see someone talk like that, I'm like, oh, this person's an actual fucking mongoloid. Actual fucking mongoloid. Very sad. Many such cases, and very, very, very sad. Let's go check out some corn action over here. What's my old corns doings? Actually, let's go check out IBIT. IBIT might have some secrets in the chart right here. Daily time frame. Yeah, funnily enough, using the daily 200 simple as a support. Not even topping out at it, which is very interesting. Weekly time frame, similar positioning to Bitcoin spot, so nothing new there. And the most interesting thing about the IBIT chart, which I actually do think matters a lot, and will going forwards here, is that the IBIT chart, the volume on it is a lot different than what we see from Bitcoin spot. The volume on that on last week's weekly dildo is actually quite impressive. Only outdone by the initial February dump. So you usually kind of see like equal but opposites when reversals do occur. So that is kind of a big deal. Anyways. Yes, I get it. Everyone hates Jews. All right, great. You have the most redacted fucking take on that. Amazing. Thank you for letting me know. Balti says the U.S. Treasury is considering using nearly $1 trillion of its own funds to buy back bonds. Well, as long as it makes my magic internet coins go up, I'm happy about that. So do it all, sir. Bread might cost like $10 a loaf, but that's fine. That's okay. That's no problem for me. David says, yes, they are working on it. We already have some testnet up. Oh, are you like actually in the, you were actually like working on it yourself? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. We just need to wait for stability and a real needs because of as of the moment, 2026, 2027 is just noise. Okay, so let me just kind of summarize, David. So basically, they're aware of the issue. It's somewhat of an easy fix for the issue, but because quantum isn't like a super immediate concern, there's not really like a will to get that done right now. Fair enough. I understand. Hey, still going, says Boy Productions. Funnily enough, man, yeah, oh my God, we're past 2 hours on this bitch right now. Holy shit, fuck. That is crazy. That is wild. That is super wild. I didn't even realize, man. I didn't even think I was going to get through this stream at all. I was massively, like I said, last night, I woke up at like fucking 5 a.m. I took Rosie out to piss and shit, and just been awake ever since then. I probably woke up like 2 or 3 times last night, intra-night as well. My sleep during these times is so bad. It's so fucking bad. Maybe it's where I'm living. Maybe I need to move. That's possible as well. We shall never know. The quantum fear porn. The quantum fear porn indeed. Yeah. Anyways, I'm looking for something that's obvious on Bitcoin. I just ain't really finding it. I feel like we haven't really said too many new things about Bitcoin since last Friday. The newest things that I can find for Bitcoin, honestly, and to kind of just wrap up this whole live stream and maybe do like another Bitcoin analysis here, see if we can do a better job on this one. So let's start it from the top. We're doing the whole stream over again. And first, a sip of water. Many people are still looking for the pullback on Bitcoin, and while Bitcoin may pull back a very shallow amount, I do not think Bitcoin is going to be pulling back the amount that many people are hoping for. And to support that, we have a lot of statistics over here, of which Bitcoin has reclaimed its daily 200 simple moving average for the first time, basically in more than 6 months. We can actually backtest what's happened in the past when Bitcoin has been away from the white 200 simple moving average for more than 6 months and then reclaims it on the first pass, which we did see, by the way, last Wednesday on that closure, just above $69,000, of which, whenever we've seen that, Bitcoin has generally gone on to go for another 24.5% move as a median return for the past few iterations that we do have for this particular study here. In fact, I'll bring you over to this page, go a little more in depth with this. But a median from that $69,000 number or so would put Bitcoin somewhere around $86,000. Now, again, when we're talking about means and medians, and we're talking about realistically low amounts of sample size in this data set, ultimately there's going to be a lot of variance around those. But even in the worst of scenarios, we've seen at least about a 20% move for Bitcoin. That was the 2015, by the way, but move that we saw. So now is the lowest one. The highest one was about 163%, which we saw in 2019. Obviously, in 2023, that one was a little bit closer to the 2015 return, in which you saw a 24.5% move, and then you got a bit of a correction. So what I did here is as I looked at Bitcoin's history and I measured that first move up before the next major correction. When I say major correction, I mean at least 10% or more. And while they do correct some odd percent along the way, a 10% correction or more, which I consider a bigger correction for Bitcoin, did not come until at least, in some cases a couple weeks later, and in other cases, many months later. So in this current case, again, I do think Bitcoin likely has higher to go here. I do think Bitcoin is more likely to get up to, mid 80s than it is to come back down to $70,000 at this point. I know a lot of people are looking to buy the retest, because you must buy the retest, because I read it online, and every breakout must retest because retests were promised to you on Investopedia, and that's the way to buy the retest. Well, in actuality, when you see a real strong breakout, they almost never retest, or if they do retest, it comes a lot later. And so that's what I'm trying to say here, is that Bitcoin is unlikely to see like a major corrective move from where it's at right now before, for the continuation. And when I say a major corrective move, I mean 10% or more corrective move. So that would bring you down to more or less $72,000 or lower. That does imply Bitcoin could very well correct down to, let's say, $75,000 or $76,000. But for right now, even in the short term, Bitcoin's kind of looking like it just wants to try some more sideways and up. And ultimately, we at some point will get a correction. Don't get me wrong. I just think that it comes from higher. And as far as corrective targets do go, I would still be looking somewhere around that weekly weekly red 5 EMA moving average. Why? Because Bitcoin on a close for close basis for any for any random weekly period has about a 76% probability to, or sorry, 72% probability to reconnect with that red 5 EMA. When I say reconnect, I mean the low of the candle in this case must be at or lower than the red 5 EMA. And right now that 5 EMA is about $72,000. Keep in mind, this week doesn't necessarily need to reconnect. Sometimes they do disconnect. In which case, if we see this go on for one more week, in which Bitcoin, either trades sideways here or goes a little bit higher here, that new open will drag that 5 EMA up a lot more towards about $74,000 to $75,000. It did just rise up about $4,000 from the previous weekly closure to the current one. So, that might even put it up all the way around $76,000. And that likely becomes the next major corrective target if and when Bitcoin actually does correct, which yes, at some point it will correct, obviously. But for right now, it does seem to me that there's a lot more people, looking for the retest, looking for Bitcoin to come down right here, right now, than there is for people, looking at $85,000 or maybe even higher. And I'm not necessarily saying that Bitcoin needs to get exactly to $85,000, but I do think anywhere between that previous high of 82 and 85 or 86 is fair game for this move. And keep in mind that that is the median for this move. The average for this move is actually closer to about 48%, which obviously puts Bitcoin significantly higher than that. That puts Bitcoin, somewhere around $100,000. But anyways, I would say between this week and 2 weeks from now, extremely likely we do see that pullback, in which case I would be looking at that red 5 EMA. But does it have to happen this week? I actually am not necessarily biased towards that. I think that it probably happens next week or the week after that. First week of September or second week of September would make a lot of sense. Early September downside move and then rally it back up. If we reference statistics from previous Septembers, which I won't go over, I won't show you the work for that on this video. We'll do it for the next video. But in September, generally the first 2 weeks of September are the worst time for September, and then the back 2 weeks of September after the major quad witching event, in which case you see all these massive expirations for futures and options and in indices and whatnot. That is when you actually typically see some upside price action, traditionally speaking, not just for Bitcoin but for markets in general. So I do think that probably aligns with an early September corrected move, and then late September you do see Bitcoin kind of trades way sideways and up from there. But in the short term here, I would really not be surprised to see Bitcoin continue to the upside from here. Anyways, following up on some of the technical signals that we did look at over the past really over the past couple of weeks here, we were looking at the alignment of all the higher term timeframes stochastic momentum oscillators, which we do have right now as of last week's closure. The weekly timeframe is showing upside as long as Bitcoin is above which exact number, 64,300. The bi-weekly timeframe is also showing upside as long as Bitcoin is above 60,450. The 3-week timeframe is also showing upside as long as Bitcoin is above 67,679. And the monthly timeframe is also going to freshly cross to the upside for the first time since December of 2022 in this crazy zone down here. If Bitcoin finishes out this month, which is just 1 week away from closing, above 65,700. So you'd see all those higher term timeframes align. Typically that does happen around major market pivots, and generally whenever we've seen even the monthly timeframe cross the upside, the macro low was already in, as you can see on all of these green vertical bars over here. Now sometimes the macro low was already in by like 5 or 6 months. In some cases it was only in by like 1 month. So in this case right here it'd be actually just by 1 month, to be fair. But that, we have seen that in the past, and if we do see all these things moving in the same direction, again, I think pullbacks are for buying. I'm not so convinced that you're going to get like a tremendous, massive pullback. Even on the monthly time frame right here, reconnecting with that 5 EMA probably brings you up to, if I had to guesstimate coming into September, that's going to be like 75 to 76,000 bucks. And this one again likes to reconnect on most of these periods. So ultimately, I don't think Bitcoin's going to get the crazy pullback that a lot of people are looking for. I do think that Bitcoin is a lot more likely to try some more upside from here. And when it does pull back, I think you're probably looking kind of, a little bit lower than where it's at right now, like 75, 76,000 bucks, tentatively at most. If we go over here to the weekly Rev and Ribbons, I also want to call out that the weekly Rev and Ribbons has reclaimed the upper band 1, and that upper band 1 is now being used as support for this week's low thus far. And traditionally, when we see that, a band broken into, we look for price action to play between, in this case, the lower end of the band, which is 76,100, which again, good area for a low, and the top side of the band, which is all the way guess where? $86,000. So we got multiple things from multiple different perspectives, kind of agreeing with each other. Some statistically based, some more indicator and momentum based, and this one return based. But still, these things are aligning with each other. I would also point out that these red dots right here do typically act as short-term resistances, and that is at 81,200. So do be aware that if Bitcoin does get a nice little splurt up there, probably likely to play out a little bit of a reactionary pullback on the first pass. But ultimately, I'm not really seeing the things that I want to see if Bitcoin's going to have an immediate pullback here. If anything, I'm seeing, a little more sideways, maybe like slight pullbacks, but not the big one, and probably more continuation from there. Other than that, I think we have pretty much hit everything that we want to speak about on this particular video. Again, I will put a line in the sand here for Bitcoin. I am happy to be a Bitcoin macro bull as long as Bitcoin is above about $70,000. Until then, let the charts take you where they may, and bull Jesus take the wheel. And I think we'll shut it off on that note. Other than that, take care and much love, and we shall be reconvening at a later date. Okay, great. We've gotten through the stream. Oh my Lord. I think like a Pokemon XP, the green stuff. What the fuck is that even about? All right, cool. Infinity says, definitely a bull trap, expecting a decent pullback in the next 8 to 10 days. That's not what a bull trap is, sir. But nice. Yeah, glycine seems to be okay, but I don't know, man. Just nothing's been working for me recently. Kind of sucks. All right, sweet guys. Yeah, thank you for staying with me on this somewhat redacted stream. We got it done. Tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow we shall come back at this with fresh eyes. Until then, wish everyone the best of the best. Take care, much love, and